Towards the net, blocked down in front, rebound, scores! Evan Oakley, here's Farmer on a breakaway, Farmer scores! Short-handed break, Benzine in on Zevnik, oh, and a great left pad save there, shot deflected, they score! Collins stops short-handed!
You're listening to Wildcats Hockey, presented by Armored Roofing on the Wildcats Broadcast Network.
Good evening to you from the K. Yeager Coliseum, where it's time for Wildcats Hockey, presented by Armored Roofing. Tonight, your Wildcats round out their regular season home slate against the arch-rival Amarillo Bulls from the North Texas Panhandle. It's matchup 11 of 12 between these two teams this season. The Wildcats have had the better of the head-to-head play thus far with an 8-2-0 mark against this Amarillo squad, but fresh in their minds is a 7-3 defeat to these Bulls just a few weeks ago. Hello, and thanks for joining us. Ben Horner with you, Wildcats fans, coming to you live on FastHockey.com and the Wildcats Broadcast Network, high above the ice level here at the K. Yeager Coliseum in Wichita Falls for Wildcats Hockey, presented by Armored Roofing. Let's set the stage, and the Wildcats are in a strong position as they enter the home stretch. They have 8 games remaining, make that 9 games remaining, counting tonight's contest. But this is their last home game. As we enter the stretch run, the Wildcats are 3 points back of the first place Lone Star Brahmas. They are 2 points back of the second place Topeka Roadrunners. They have 2 games in hand on both of those teams. And what it all boils down to, this is all you need to know. If the Wildcats win out, they win the South Division. Simple as that, but that is much easier said than done. That is for sure, especially when you consider the Wildcats finish with 8 straight contests away from the K. Yeager Coliseum, and it doesn't really start off on an easy note. The Wildcats taking on an Amarillo Bulls squad that is hungry to keep themselves in the playoff picture. They picked up a big 4-point weekend against the Topeka Roadrunners at home last weekend, did the Bulls, and that is good enough to see them at the very least climb back into the playoff picture. Amarillo 22-26-4 on the season. They are 21-25-3 in the South Division, but here is where they have struggled away from the Amarillo Civic Center. 6-17-2 away from the ACC are the Amarillo Bulls this year. Not something that we're accustomed to seeing out of this Amarillo squad, but it's been a new year, a new coaching staff, lots of new players this year for Amarillo, and it's indeed been an uphill battle for Joe Roger, the head coach of John Roger of the Amarillo Bulls, trying to climb his way back into the playoff picture after a rough start to the season. But this is a much different Amarillo squad that they'll ice tonight than what we saw back in October and November when the Wildcats won 9-1 in Amarillo and swept 3 games from this Bull squad here at the KYC. They're a faster team. They're a more skilled team. They can skate much better than what we saw back in October and November, and more importantly, they play at a much higher tempo, which really gave the Wildcats some trouble. And as we found out a few weeks ago, back on February the 20th in Amarillo, if you give Amarillo time and space to move, they will burn you. That 7-3 win for the Bulls started out with a 2-0 deficit as the Wildcats had the better of the play in the first couple of minutes, took a 2-0 lead, but seemed to sit back a little bit, get on their heels, put it into cruise control, and as a result, the Bulls cruised right by them. The Wildcats responded well the next night with a 5-3 win over Amarillo. It wasn't straightforward, as a couple of late goals from the Bulls put the cat amongst the pigeons for the Wildcats and made it a little bit interesting in the closing stages, but they were able to escape with the 2 points, and indeed they've been playing very good hockey since that weekend, and even dating back a little bit further. I know there were some Wildcats fans who were a little bit concerned with the way the team came out of the break into the second half, but when you go back and look at it, the Wildcats have just 1 regulation loss dating back to Saturday, January the 31st. In that time frame, they are 8-1-2 in that span for the Wildcats, playing very well right now. They've won 3 straight and are 3-0 in the month of March. No changes to this Wildcat squad from what we saw against the Wenatchee Wild over the weekend, and why would you? Over the weekend against Wenatchee was one of the best defensive performances we've seen on back-to-back nights. The Wildcats held their opponents to under 20 shots in both of those games. The goaltending was solid when it had to be, but didn't have to do too much because Wichita Falls did a very good job of keeping Wenatchee to the outside. If they are able to do that here this evening, if they're able to keep Amarillo to the perimeter and let David Zevnik see the first shot on goal, it'll go a long way towards picking up 2 points here tonight, and it's going to be taken one game at a time for this Wildcats roster. I had a chance to talk with Wildcats head coach Jean LaFontaine. We'll hear his thoughts in the first intermission, but he was adamant both interview before and after about taking it one game at a time. It's all well and good to have your destiny in your own hands and to know that if you win out, you'll get the division title. However, you can't worry about winning out until you win the game that's in front of you. That's what the Wildcats have to worry about here this evening, and they'll do so against an Amarillo Bulls squad that, as I mentioned, has won 3 straight coming into tonight's contest, and they've been solid, but it's been the road where they have struggled. And for the Wildcats, if they can get up on Amarillo early and build that lead, it's going to go a long way towards picking up the 2 points here this evening. Amarillo 14-5-3 when scoring first. They are 10-5-1 when leading after 1 and 15-0-2 when leading after 2. But here's a more interesting stat, and this is not one that we're accustomed to seeing because Amarillo typically had not played too many one-goal games, but the Bulls are 9-2-4 in one-goal games. So if it's close contest, they like their chances just as much as the next team. The Wildcats hoping that it won't be close at all. In fact, of the contests that these two teams have played this season, there has not been a single one that has been decided by 1 goal. Everything has been at least 2 goals. Most recently, that 2-goal margin of victory for the Wildcats over Amarillo, 5-3 back on February the 21st. And Wichita Falls has been very strong against this Amarillo squad here at the KYC. 5-0-0, but a couple of players that they're going to have to account for here tonight. Charlie Combs, who's one of the hotter skaters in the league, he's got 14 points in his last 10 games. Luke Novak has been a thorn in the Wildcats' side this year. 10 points on 4 goals and 6 assists in 9 games played for Luke Novak. And Cody Gilling, who missed the Wildcats Amarillo series back in February due to suspension, is back in tonight after posting 3 points against Topeka last weekend. Still out though, Casper Emanuelson. Bit of a question mark surrounding him as to where he's been. He did not play either game last weekend, has been very lightly used by John Roger, Mike Watt, and Austin Sutter, the Amarillo coaching staff, in the second half of the season. You wonder what kind of happened there. But either way, the Wildcats know they won't have to face him here this evening. As we'll turn our attention now to the starting lineups brought to you by Pelican's Restaurant. We start with the Amarillo Bulls, and we start with the forwards. On the left wing, it'll be Charlie Combs, 5'6", 200 pounds. Combs, wearing number 15 out of St. Louis, Missouri. The 96 birth year, has 32 points on 19 goals and 13 assists. And against the Wildcats, he's got 6 points on 3 goals and 3 assists in 8 games played. Centering will be A.J. Dugan, wearing number 19. 5'10", 195 pounds, 21 points on the year at 7 goals and 14 assists for Dugan out of Chesterfield, Missouri, who's a 94 birth year. On the right wing will be Joey DiBenedetto, one of the holdovers from last year's squad with Dennis Williams. DiBenedetto, 23 points on the year on 7 goals and 16 assists, standing at 5'10", 175 pounds. DiBenedetto hails from Anchorage, Alaska. And starting on the blue line for Amarillo, it's Ben Yench on the left side, the captain, 6'1", 200 pounds. In his 46th game played, he's got 9 points on 2 goals and 7 assists, hailing out of Heartland, Wisconsin, wearing number 3. On the right side of the blue line, it's Tristan Restagno, 6'3", 200 pounds, wearing number 5. He's got 15 points on the year, 6 goals and 9 assists, and a minus 13 for Restagno out of Pewaukee, Wisconsin. And starting in net tonight is Jacob Weatherly. He's 5'11", 185 pounds, out of Castle Rock, Colorado. Weatherly on the year, 8-14-3, with a 3.76 goals against average and an 8.90 save percentage. We have not seen too much of Weatherly lately from Amarillo. Martinson had been the goalie of record in 3 straight and 8 of the last 11, but we see Weatherly here this evening because he is the only goaltender on the Amarillo roster to have posted a win against the Wildcats this season. Head coach of the Bulls, John Roger. Assistant coaches are Mike Watt and Austin Sutter. Starting lineups now for your Wichita Falls Wildcats. On the left wing, it'll be number 28, Kevin Sharazin. 23 goals to lead the team for the Jameson, Pennsylvania native, standing at 5'10", 165 pounds. The Air Force Academy commit has 43 points on the season on 23 goals and 20 assists. Center will be Tommy APAP. He had 2 assists last Saturday, 6'2", 180 pounds out of Bloomfield Hills, Michigan. APAP has 33 points on the year on 8 goals and 25 assists. On the right wing will be Nick Farmer. Farmer at 6 foot, 185 pounds out of Colbert, Washington. In 51 games played, he has 20 goals and 26 assists for 46 points. Round out his final regular season home game here at the KYC tonight. On the blue line for the Wildcats, number 16, Jeff Baum mans the left side of the point at a Colleyville, Texas, 5'11", 185 pounds. Third straight game for Baum. Make that his 4th straight game. In 15 games played, he's got a goal and 3 assists. Pairing with him will be Jake Townsend, 13 goals, 23 assists for 36 points for the Highlands Ranch, Colorado native, 6 foot, 180 pounds for Jake Townsend in the 94 birth year. And starting in net will be the other 94 on this Wildcats roster, David Zevnik, 5'11", 160 pounds out of Lakeville, Minnesota, 13-6-1 with a .276 goals against average and an .899 save percentage. Zevnik made 13 saves on 13 shots in relief of Austin Shaw last Saturday to pick up the win. Those are the starting lineups for the Wildcats. Wildcats head coach is John LaFontaine in his first season. Chris Soransky, the assistant, in his second season. Those are the starting lineups brought to you by Pelican's Restaurant, located at 2301 Midwestern Parkway, across from Midwestern State University, offering to some of the choicest beef, freshest fish, and the area's best wine list. Be sure to visit our friends at Pelican's Restaurant the next time you're in the Falls for fine dining in a family atmosphere. We are going through our final pregame ceremonies, honoring the Wildcats players who are age-outs, not eligible to return. Colin Staub, Nick Farmer, Jake Townsend, and David Zevnik getting a lap of honor and appreciation from the crowd here at the KYC tonight. That'll do it for us on the pregame show. We will step aside when we come back. We'll have the first period of action right here from the KYC as Wildcats Hockey presented by Armored Roofing will get underway just after this on FastHockey.com and the Wildcats Broadcast Network. Evening to you from the K. Yeager Coliseum, where the ice is down, the lights are up, and we are just about set for Wildcats hockey, presented by Armored Roofing. Hello and welcome to the broadcast, everybody. Ben Horner here with you on FastHockey.com and the Wildcats Broadcast Network, wrapping up our pregame ceremonies as the Wildcats took a nice moment to honor their 4 players who are not eligible to return next year due to the junior hockey age-out restrictions. That'd be number 9, Colin Staub, number 10, Nick Farmer, number 21, Jake Townsend, and number 30, David Zebnik. Cats wearing their home white sweaters, skating from right to left across your screen. That's P to Q across your keyboard if you're joining us online via the Wildcats YouTube channel and the Wildcats Broadcast Network. Amarillo wearing their road reds, skating from left to right. It'll be Jacob Weatherly in the cage 2 hour left. David Zebnik gets the start tonight for the Wildcats in the cage 2 hour right. Sherers and Apap Farmer, the forwards for Wichita Falls, with Baum and Townsend, the defensemen. Yenshin Restano, the D-man for Amarillo. Charlie Combs, AJ Dugan, and Joey DiBenedetto will be the forwards to start things off. Tonight's officials, Corey Denbach, the referee, working the penalties with the orange armbands on his arms. Kevin Brennan, Daniel Spohr, the officials, as Denbach brings them together and the puck is down. We're underway in the first period. Brought to you by American Classified, as the Wildcats will try to control off the draw. Here is Baum. Plays it up the ice for Farmer, who's been red hot against this Amarillo squad this season. Farmer can't corral that one. More on Farmer's numbers against the Bulls in just a second as he'll jab this one along. Couldn't get the puck in deep. On a delayed offside, the Wildcats tag up, get it back to the neutral zone, and Baum will flick this one into the right wing corner and come to the bench for a change. First to it there. Here is Sherrison below the goal line now. Sherrison looking to rag to the blue line and does. Townsend quickly along for Cam Knight. Here is Knight. Backdoor pass hoping for Sherrison and eluded his reach. He'll corral it. Here is Sherrison. Pump fake shot goes up high. That gets the glass and goes out of play. He had Farmer right there at the top of the circle, but he put it out of play on the shot instead. 19-19 remaining in the first. They'll move the face-off into the neutral zone here. As they say, it was sent clean out off the stick of Sherrison. And we'll get our first face-off of the evening. I mentioned Farmer hot against the Amarillo Bulls. How about 14 points in 10 games played against the foes from Amarillo? 7 goals and 7 assists. And really, his hottest month of the season was in January, and it got started with a couple of big performances against the Bulls. Off that face-off, Amarillo controls, retreats back to their own end, and looks to start up the ice. This is banked forward. No icing here as Matt Cook takes in his own end. Dusts it off and moves it up for Austin Bolio now. Bolio plays it in stride. He wanted Staub, eluded his reach as Senelius will chase back and bump it off the back wall to be taken there by Kyle Hartman. Hartman along for Mika. Nice step by Cook to hold his own. Staub down for Bolio. Bolio settles. Litviak, one-timer fought out there by Weatherly on the left side. Trying to hold in on this near side. Staub had his pocket picked. Cook digs it along as well. Staub reverses a big hit there, but can't grab possession as this is Hartman looking to motor forward. Ramped along there and in deep it goes. Amarillo starts up a change as it's behind the cage of Zebnik for Knight to spin away from his man there. Tries to move it along to his teammate. Gets some help from Falconer. Falconer spins away behind the net and serves it back around to this near side corner. First to it on the near side. Lazarus, he couldn't clear. Towards the net, save. Rebound spilled. It's loose in front still. And finally, the Wildcats are able to clear. Dangerous moment there, but Lazarus brings this forward. Here's Lazarus. Puts on the brakes. Waits for a trailer. Lazarus instead shifts it down the wall to the corner. Here is Oakley. Turnaround shot went through the blue paint. Runs off to the far side wall and kicks to the neutral zone. Kosmeski quickly along for Lazarus now. Nice play there as Oakley will feed this one in deep and come to the bench for a change. So both sides with a decent look there as we play on scoreless with just over 2 minutes and 15 seconds played in the first period. Trying to dig this one loose, Subri, he couldn't win that one back as in the corner it works its way along for Charlie Combs. Here's Combs, his pass, intercepted there by Azanero. He'll have to step back onto it, Will Combs, and he'll move it along to be picked up here by Leonidas. Leonidas fed it around the boards in his own zone. Trying to play along there was Combs. Instead, it's behind the net from Subri for Albrecht. Albrecht lost out here. Has an arrow give his man a good bump as this is chipped forward as looking to race onto this one. Here's DiBenedetto and now Combs. Combs shot wide there, hit the outside of the cage. Zebnik might have had it covered as trying to step under the loose puck in the neutral zone was Albrecht. Played it down the ice, not far enough as Amarillo maintains possession and Combs puts it on his backhand and plays in deep. Zebnik bumped it along quickly here, hoping for Baum, who sends it right back to Townsend before taking a bump up high. We play on. 3 minutes played in a scoreless first period here. This is Sherrison. He'll motor past Yenshin, pick up the loose puck in the corner before taking a bump. Sherrison skates past everybody, loses out there as trying to pick this one up, and doing so was Bryson Johnson. Now it's on the stick of Apap, walking in, left for Farmer, towards the net, steered wide easily enough there by Weatherly, as Farmer was shooting for a rebound that was directed away instead. 16:35 remaining in the first. Apeps comes along and holds his own. His pass was onto the stick of Restano, though, and Amarillo will start things forward. At the red line, Restano plays this one in deep. First to it on the near side. It's helped along by Zevnik, and the Wildcats work it to the neutral zone, where they'll start up a change. Townsend spiked it away from his man there. Now it's Farmer. Faded to the near side for Bolio, fresh from the bench. Here's Bolio, dusting it off. Trailing play. Here's Staub. Pump fake. Staub shot. Saved by Martinson. Poked in front there. It's still loose. No goal. They'll jam for it, and we finally get the whistle. It was still loose, but Denbach lost sight of the puck. Mayhem. 16:04 remaining in the first. Bolio hit Staub on a trailing play into the zone. Staub pump faked and then let a shot go. Weatherly made the save, and although he was tied in knots and there was a lot of net to shoot at, the Wildcats couldn't get a stick to that loose puck to tap it home. 16:04 remaining in the first. We see Staub coming down the slot. Great left toe save there. I think if Staub had to do it again, he might have tried to elevate. He wasn't able to do it that time, and we have a face-off to the left of Weatherly. Washed out of the draw here will be Colin Staub, so Bolio will step in. Pace to the early proceedings here at the KYC. Ben Horner with you, scoreless in the opening stages of this contest on a Wednesday evening. This goes all the way down the ice and should be icing. It will be icing as Staub is the closest back to it. 15:55 remaining in the first. Thanks for joining us on a Wednesday evening. It's all to play for the Wildcats now. Thanks to their 4-point weekend against Wenatchee last weekend, and Topeka only picking up 1 of 4 points against against these same Amarillo Bulls, I should say. The Wildcats control their own destiny for the South Division title, as if they win out, they win the division. Big ask, but at the very least, they have it in their control. Off the offensive zone faceoff, this is Amarillo in the form of Mika losing out. Novak getting his first shift of the night. Under some pressure, here's Cam Knight. Plays it off the back wall, wanting Matt Cook. Novak and Harrison, a thorn in the Wildcats' side throughout the second half of this season, as this is picked up in the neutral zone and swung along. Here's Harrison, knifed away from him. Bolio picks up the loose puck at his own blue line, softly forward for Colin Staub to gain the zone. Here is Staub as Litviak gets to the net. Shot, save there, and held, and we'll get the whistle as Weatherly has it in his catching glove. 15:20 remaining in the first period. And I mentioned Novak and Harrison there. They've been late additions to this, well, not recent, I should say, but they came to this Bulls roster partway through the season after USHL opportunities didn't work out, and they've been a revelation since joining. Novak, 10 points against the Wildcats. Harrison, 9 points in 9 games played against the Wildcats. As this one is around to the far side, Barriga will try to work it out past Chernyuk. Chernyuk seals him off along the far side. Behind the net now, it's picked up by Gilling. Gilling moves it softly along where it's on the stick of Damien into the neutral zone. Amarillo will finally work this one up the ice. Skating forward here, trying to get it past Lazarus was Gilling. He wasn't able to, as that results in a delayed offside with 14:59 remaining in the first. A couple of whistles starting to punctuate proceedings here. Ben Horner with you at a scoreless first period from the K. Yeager Coliseum. FastHockey.com and the Wildcats Broadcast Network, the outlets for this one, as the faceoff will be upcoming right in front of the Wildcats bench area. Off, they scrum for it. Amarillo pulls it free, and Damien has it. Damien chopped free here. Onside play as Guadagno will send it off to the left wing wall for Barriga. Barriga lost it in his skates, but a teammate will come back and collect, as this is A.J. Dugan trying to move it along. Instead, Oakley intercepts, fed forward softly for Lazarus here. Pinballing around the neutral zone. Here's Kosmeski stepping forward. Kosmeski, quick shot, scores! Quick shot in stride from Shane Kosmeski, and the Wildcats take the lead on a transition rush with 14:35 remaining in the first period. The puck was kicking around the neutral zone. Kosmeski stepped onto it, got some space from the top of the left circle. He sent it back across the grain as Weatherly came out to challenge, and the Wildcats strike first. So back to play after Shane Kosmeski scores his 5th of the season and gives the Wildcats a 1-0 lead. This one ramped in deep towards the Wildcats cage. Townsend sends it hard off the back wall. Instead, it's picked up by DiBenedetto. Townsend will get this one right back and move it along to Subri, who gets it along for Azanaro. Albrecht, offside play. He just couldn't keep his skate to the blue line, as that will result in play being blown dead. 14:18 remaining in the first. Wildcats now leading 1-0. Shane Kosmeski's goal has given the Cats the early lead in this contest. Here is Subri. He'll swat it wide of the cage as he steps forward off the draw, as this is spiked off the glass. Baum will glove it down in front of the Amarillo bench here. Look out. This is Harrison racing forward. Harrison at the circle. Great play. Shot. Saved there by Zevnik. The rebound is corralled by Novak to the blue line. Here is Jensch. Jensch. Shot. Wide of the cage. Big carom off the back wall as Subri will watch this one skitter into the neutral zone, where Novak will pick this one up. Novak chipped it along for a man. This is an offside play here, as Riley Christensen was a little bit too slow getting into the offensive zone. 13:50 remaining in the first. The Wildcats now leading 1-0. Shane Kosmeski, they'll give assists to Evan Oakley and likely Lazarus. We'll wait and see on the official scoring summary here. Ben Horner with you as we thank you for joining us on a Wednesday night. This one eludes everybody as Amarillo tries to pull this one back. They'll have to chase it all the way down into their own zone off the face-off in the neutral zone. 40 remaining in the first period. The Wildcats leading 1-0 as trying to break out are the Bulls. This one carrying through neutral ice. Knight back up for Apap. Apap into the zone onside. Apap leaves it for Farmer at the right wing wall. He'll leave it behind there and send it below the goal line. Apap trying to hook for Farmer again, and it was jabbed away from him here as Knight tries to hold the zone. Wasn't able to do so. He'll flip it back in deep. Cats tag up on a delayed offside, and they'll start a change as a result, as Amarillo will do likewise as we tick down towards 13 minutes remaining in the first period. Gilling wants it on the breakout. He won't get it, so he'll rush forward as this is onto the stick of Kyle Hartman. Rather, that was Senelius. A pass hit the back of a teammate as it's sent wide of the cage from just outside the blue line, and Knight will start things up on the breakout. Had to curl back to his own zone, hard to the near side for Bolio. Bolio, his pass intercepted here, but Staub was able to sweep it into the neutral zone as Charlie Combs had read Bolio's breakout pass well. Here is Leonidas spinning back into his own end. Up the ice hoping for Gilling, who touched it along. No icing here as Zevnik will sweep it away from danger to the corner. Zevnik taken down behind the net, and that will be a penalty here. First penalty of the night. It'll go to Charlie Combs. Likely, some more coming together after the fact here, as it'll be a charging call against Joey DiBenedetto. Rather, make that Charlie Combs. And DiBenedetto jawing at Austin Bolio here. Not sure what that's all about, but we'll keep an eye on that one. Either way, it looks like the Wildcats are going to be on the power play here. Interesting there. Litviak thought he had been assessed a penalty, skated over the box, and the off-ice official waved him off and said, no, you're fine. Either way, the Wildcats will head to the power play for the first time this evening. Cats on the power play with 12:37 remaining in the first. On the year, Wichita Falls is first in the league, 50 for 192, 26% even, and Amarillo's penalty kill not great. 21st in the league, 78.9%. That's 202 for 256 as a faceoff is to the left of Weatherly. Spanked hard around the back wall here as Amarillo is able to clear this one down. They'll look to race forward in the form of Riley Christensen. Here's Christensen. Cook will take this one away from him and move it along for Lazarus. Lazarus starting the breakout here, wanting it is Farmer. Farmer stick handling, he'll gain the red line and float in deep as the avenues in front of him were restricted. Bank play in front there, and no one in a white sweater was alert to it as it's spanked down the ice by Amarillo. 2 minutes for charging for Charlie Combs. 1:30 remaining in the Wildcats power play as Farmer gains the zone along the highway, drops it along for Lazarus. Here is Lazarus at the right wing wall. Curls behind the net and left it there for Sherazin in the corner. Sherazin tied up, pressed hard into the wall. Apap moved it along there, along for Sherazin as Cook will step up and sweep it along. Lazarus skittering puck, backdoor. Apap couldn't settle a bouncing puck with his right skate as this is onto the stick of Christensen to skate forward shorthanded. He'll chip in deep, and Amarillo will come to the bench for a change. Power play halfway done for the Wildcats. Nothing doing just yet as Sherazin shifts it along for Knight to gain the red line now. Here is Knight. Nice skate here into the offensive zone. On his back end, he'll sweep this one in deep. Senelius first to it there, behind the net, and now into the corner. Bolio up for Knight at the blue line. Here is Knight. Seam pass. Staub directing it along there, as rather that was Litviak chipping it along, and Weatherly stepped onto the loose puck and covered. 11:19 remaining in the first, 42 seconds remaining in the Wildcats power play, which has been dynamite against Amarillo this year. 17 for 50 on the season, which is good for 34%, as here is Knight, and now Litviak off the faceoff. 33 seconds remaining in the Cats power play. Knight at the left point. He'll walk towards the middle now and leave it for Bolio left circle. Bolio seam pass. Here is Sherazin, and he wasn't able to pull the trigger in the high slot. Beg pardon, that was Townsend, and the Bulls clear it down the ice with 20 seconds remaining in the Cats power play. Seeing the Wildcats set up between the hash marks more than they have thus far this year on the power play as Cam Knight Didn't like his options in front of him. Spins back to the neutral zone as Litviak picks up the loose disc, walks in. Here's Litviak with some speed. Toe drag. Now it's Bolio at the left faceoff circle. Backdoor pass. Nobody there. Townsend chases it to the back wall. Here is Cam Knight, middle of the blue line. Back to 5-on-5. Here is Bolio now. Looking to play a pass down the wall and find Staub in the corner. Staub spins away, protects, now cuts in front. Staub, hook chance there. Loose puck. Oh, and a glove save. Oh, Weatherly stole one from Colin Staub there as he picked up the loose puck, cut all the way around, and we stay at 1-0 thanks to Weatherly's great glove save. 10:26 remaining in the first as a loose puck. Colin Staub flung it on net, and Weatherly just got a glove to it. Cats lead 1-0, but their power play opportunity has expired. Off the face-off, it's behind the cage. For it there, but losing out to Leonidas was Azanaro. Leonidas will play it up the wall, and now look out. Amarillo might have numbers. Nice reach by Chernyuk, but it's 3-on-1 into the zone. Shot saved there by Zebnik, and it goes out of play. On the shot was Elijah Bariga from the left wing circle. 10:09 remaining in the first. Cats leading 1-0. Shane Kosmeski with the perfect play there. He made Bariga, he made Bariga, beg your pardon, he made Bariga shoot the puck as he couldn't center for either of the guys crashing down the middle. He took away the pass, Zebnik took away the shot, and the Wildcats took away the chance. Off the face-off, ball start quickly here as Albrecht and Bariga get into it across the way, drawing the attention of Daniel Spoor. Off the draw, this is Townsend trying to tie his man up to the far side wall, and does. Azanaro will look to race forward. Banked it softly ahead for Subri to try and give chase. Subri gets around his man there as trying to dig it free is Albrecht. Albrecht pressed into the wall there, legally so by A.J. Dugan, as it's Bariga moving it along to be picked up by Wadania. Wadania loses out in the neutral zone. Nice play by Albrecht to fish it back to Townsend as Townsend looks to skate to the red line. No avenue there, so he'll curl back in towards his own zone. Now at his own blue line, spins away and looks to, he left this one behind. Loose puck there. Now it's a 2-on-1. Here is Falconer. Right circle. Shot. Whistled it wide of the cage with Oakley to his left. Bomb back down towards the corner. Blocked away there, so he'll serve it back along to Townsend. In the neutral zone, Falconer takes it from Townsend and chipped this one along. He'll get sealed out of the play as Oakley comes up for a big hit and whiffs on it as we play on. 9:15 remaining in the first as the Cats lead 1-0. Mika will play this one in deep from the right wing wall to the left wing corner on the far side. Chernyuk first to it there. Oakley, his pass put him under pressure as Oakley tries to fight his way through this check. It's on the stick of Senelius walking in. Shot, whistled it wide of the cage. Caroms towards Damien. His pass intercepted. Lazarus touched it along but left it behind. Mika. Now it's Harrison. Now Harrison behind the cage, and it skitter over his blade. Rather, it was Gilling down low as Oakley will protect this one, and Chernyuk moved it quickly along for Falconer, who will ladle this one into the neutral zone. Wildcats have to be careful they don't get caught in a change. They get two guys on to replace the two that came off as Sherazin leaves this one along. Hacking at it there was a Wildcat skater. Glove down here in the slot. Left behind here is Mika. Mika trying to fight through the check of Chernyuk. Good shift this by Amarillo. Nothing doing on it quite yet as now Sherazin was able to work it to Oakley, who will play this one in deep and come to the bench as Weatherly will cover this one up as it trickled onto his crease. 8:23 remaining in the first period. As we enter the media timeout, the Wildcats are leading 1-0. They have it in the box score as Shane Kosmeski unassisted. We'll see if they add any after the fact, but either way, the Wildcats lead 1-0, and when they score first, usually bodes well for them. Wichita Falls is 29-3-1 when getting the game's first goal. That was an interesting sequence in their defensive zone there, as the Wildcats couldn't work it out, but out of all of that, Amarillo was not able to generate any clear-cut scoring opportunities. Wildcats, thus far, doing a decent job of keeping Amarillo out of the home plate area, which is to say the area below the tops of the face-off circles and between the face-off dots in towards the goal. 23 remaining in the first. We remind you that if you're making a trip down to Wichita Falls for the playoffs, be sure to contact our friends at La Quinta Inns and Suites, located on Central Freeway and Marine Street. La Quinta Inns and Suites is the official host hotel of the Wildcats and is conveniently located between the Wichita Falls Airport and the K. Yeager Coliseum. La Quinta Inns and Suites offers a special rate for Wildcats fans of just $59 a night. Visit LaQuintaWichitaFalls.com or call 940-322-6971 for more information. Face off, one back here to the point for Cam Knight, right off the offensive zone draw, deflecting around there, and it pinballs away. Sharazin towards the corner, wanting Apep. Apep gets it back in front. Here's Farmer, skittered over his blade. Farmer gets it right back once more. Feeds Sharazin. It was intercepted, and it's spiked down the ice by Amarillo, and Knight will give chase into his own end. Farmer, couple of times we've seen him fan on a shot in the high slot. Looks like he's gripping the stick a little bit tight tonight, as this is Matt Cook in his own zone. Great pass up ahead. Here's Apep splitting everybody, and a good defensive play there by Damien to force that one away. Otherwise, he would have been able to chip it in front clean on a 2-on-0. Loaded up and down the ice by Amarillo as Cook will spin this one along for Sharazin. Dangerous play. Sharazin was just able to get it back as Harrison in on the forecheck wasn't able to get that puck first. Here is to Benedetto as he'll close Cook down, but Cook moved it along for Knight to give to Sharazin to give to Litviak into the offensive zone. Come the Cats. Litviak shot deflecting around there and goes to the corner for Colin Staub. Here is Staub. Left behind here, Sharazin will come to the bench for a change as Bolio waits to get out there as a two-a-side battle ensues as Litviak can't take possession away from Hartman. Hartman, good step here by the Wildcats in the form of Townsend, but it's stepped onto here by Senelius. Senelius walks forward. Pocket pick by Townsend. Here comes Townsend. Might have a step on Hartman. Townsend towards the front of the net there, and Hartman got back and threw him hard into the wall there. Amarillo trying to rush back the other way. Here is Charlie Combs. 7 minutes remaining in the first. Combs walking towards the middle. Good cover there by Baum to take him off the angle. Now it's Townsend once more. He's gassed at the end of his shift. He'll retreat back to the blue line as Amarillo takes possession. Living dangerously in their own zone was Leonidas with 6:45 remaining in the first as the Cats lead 1-0. On the stick of Amarillo skater once more. That was Dugan. His cross-ice pass partially intercepted, but it floats along to the near side wall for Mika. Now Cherniak gets involved. Bolio tries to spring it loose as it's behind the cage of Zebnik in the last 6:25 of the first period. Baum didn't know where it was, needs Cherniak to direct traffic. Now plays this one up the far side wall as Albrecht brings this one in and lost out as he played it for Subri, hoping he was in the corner. Now it's Kosmeski, sidestepping one along the blue line. Here is a man, it's a trailing play, slap shot into the glove of Weatherly from the big blast from Austin as an arrow. 6:11 remaining in the first period as the Wildcats lead 1-0. Shots on goal 7-3 make that 8-3. According to the big board here at the KYC in favor of Wichita Falls. Ben Horner with you on FastHockey.com and the Wildcats Broadcast Network. Face-off to the left of Weatherly, who has made a couple of very strong saves here in the first period. He did get beat on a quick little shot by Kosmeski, but aside from that, he's been strong. Made a great glove save on Staub and a great toe save on Staub. This is Riley Christensen trying to walk his way around Kosmeski. Kosmeski did just enough to force him to the wall. Here's a big slap shot wide of the cage. Wanting a deflection was Rustenio towards the net there by Jensch, and that ramps up and out of play as Albrecht got a stick in the shooting lane. 5:55 remaining in the first. Face-off will be to David Zebnik's left. Zebnik, who I mentioned in the pregame, made 13 saves on 13 shots on goal in relief of Austin Shaw last Saturday. Did not have an easy task. He came in and faced a barrage. Wildcats got outshot 9-2 in the first period of that game. Here's Jensch. Now it's along for Rustenio. Backdoor pass, and shanking it there on the near side was Novak as Oakley had him covered and might have disrupted play. Here is Novak. Oakley gives him a good bump, but Novak was able to step away. Penalty upcoming here. It's going to be against Evan Oakley as Novak maintains possession. Novak up to the blue line. Rustenio towards the net. Zebnik steers it wide. Touching up his Knight will get the whistle. And Evan Oakley is going to get called here. I believe it's going to be a holding call. Well, an interesting one there. He never really took the hand off his stick, but certainly some sort of infringement was spotted by Denbach, and the Wildcats will be shorthanded for the next 2 minutes. 5:32 remaining in the first period, and the Cats have been making strides on the Gilmore's Collision Center penalty kill recently. Still 22nd in the league, but they did go 7 for 8 on the PK last weekend. We'll see what they have in their locker here as this is Gilling and now Senelius setting things up. Gilling one-timer and a glove save by David Zebnik. Wildcats 152 for 196 on the PK this year, 77.6%. They are 93 for 115 at home, which is 80.9%. Against Amarillo, they are 49 for 56. 87.5%, but Amarillo did hit 3 on the power play a couple weeks ago. Quick shot wide of the cage there. Trying to pick his spot on the far side was Gilling. Now it's Senelius. Along for Gilling once more. Gilling. Now Senelius. Big slap shot blocked in front. Rebound and picking this one up on the near side. Playing it up to the point. Here's Amarillo. Unable to step onto this one cleanly was Combs, but the Wildcats can't clear the zone. Still, they're not able to clear. Senelius and his pass along the blue line caromed off the skate of APAP and into the neutral zone. Walking it back in. Gilling shot off the glove, off the bar. Zevnik steps on top and covers up. Oh my. 4:52 remaining in the first. Gilling walked in, ripped a shot. Zevnik got a glove on it, sent it onto the crossbar. It popped up into the air, landed smack in the middle of the blue paint, and Zevnik was able to jump down and get on top of that one, as that'll freeze play. 1:20 remaining in the penalty to Oakley. 4:52 remaining in this first period. Face off to the right of Zevnik. Back here, here's Charlie Combs. One-timer. Oh, what a score. Oh, what a shot. Combs just blasted that one into the top corner before Zevnik could even get set, as we are tied 1-1. The Wildcats penalty kill issues crop up once more. Charlie Combs knots the score and how, his 20th goal of the year, and 4th against the Wildcats on a power play tally. That one was by Zevnik before he even knew it hit him. So, back to 5-on-5, back to level pegging here. 1-1 the score, as this is Townsend giving first stop. Staub protecting the puck here, loses out. Now it's Bolio walking in. His shot, save, rebound, and it's swatted away from danger. Townsend will chase this one back. Angles it up the ice for Baum, who swept it along for Bolio. Bolio tags up on the offside as Litviak goes in on the forecheck, and Restano has it. Restano pass, caroms away from his intended target. That allows Baum to pick this one up in his own zone. Baum worked it along for Townsend now. Here is Townsend. Looks to float it cross ice. He finds Bolio. Bolio couldn't catch this one cleanly, as Staub will chase into the corner here. Here is Staub tying up with Jensch. Threw his man off the puck as Bolio works it up to the wall, and Kosmeski. Kosmeski shakes it through traffic off a leg and goes to the corner there. That allows Jensch to pick this one up. He'll move it up the ice. Here is Wadania. Rather, that was Dugan. Dugan picks it up once more. Intercepted here as now APAP looks to spring forward. APAP, quick shot through the middle. Saved there by Weatherly as he jumped up and caught it in his breadbasket. And we'll get the whistle. 3:52 remaining in the first period, as we'll have a face-off coming to the left of Jacob Weatherly. Charlie Combs on the power play goal has this one knotted up 1-1, as face-off will be to the left of Weatherly, who's been solid thus far. The Wildcats are knocking on the door once more. However, face-off one here and controlled by Leonidas for Amarillo. Here is Leonidas. He'll skate through the neutral zone, skate it from right to left, get to the red line, and play in deep. This one ramps high up the glass. Zevnik thought about playing it, but couldn't reach it, so instead, here is Damien. Fed it along, here it's towards the net, wide of the cage. Rebound. Ooh, that was dangerous if Harrison was alert to it. Instead, APAP will clear this one into the neutral zone. Spiked off the back wall in the corner as Kosmeski picks this up as Amarillo tags up on a delayed offside. That allows the Wildcats to set things up on the breakout as Kosmeski will gallop forward and give to Sherazin. Sherazin, onside play, towards the front of the net there, goes to the corner. Farmer, back behind for Sherazin once more, back along for Farmer at the half wall. Farmer protects here, spins it back down the wall. Sherazin there, jabbed along, hoping Subri could go along to pursue. Subri tied up here in the corner as the Wildcats are in the midst of a change. Subri trying to dig it loose, Kosmeski waiting for it, as down in the corner as well was Sherazin. Ramped back around behind by Leonidas. As an arrow, the first to it for the red and black. Behind the net it goes. Kosmeski trying to reach it here on the near side half wall. Ladled softly towards the corner. Leonidas will go to battle here as he'll step past as an arrow and move it up the ice. 2:43 remaining in the first period. Amarillo gains a zone. Riley Christensen floated it wide of the cage. Here's to Benedetto. Outdueled there nicely by Kosmeski as Kosmeski worked it along for Azanaro. Azanaro's pass intercepted. Loose puck in the neutral zone. Albrecht will swirl this one back into his own zone and bank it off the boards. He gave possession right away. That allows Hartman to pick it up. Drilled down to the ice was Hartman by Subri, but to Benedetto will play this one towards the cage of Zevnik. Spilled away there by Zevnik onto the stick of Cook. Albrecht couldn't clear it past Hartman. Trying to dig it loose on the near side was Mika. To the corner it goes, where Cook plays it quickly along for Knight. Knight in the right wing corner. He'll float this one down the ice. Albrecht got to stick to it here. That negates the icing as he'll charge this one down as Hartman is there as well. 2 minutes remaining in the first period. The Wildcats took a 1-0 lead, but a power play goal from Charlie Combs has us level again. Here is Jesper Sennelius looking to get around Matt Cook and does. Sennelius with a step. His shot didn't get all of that one and it trickled through the blue paint. On the far side, Oakley forced his man off it. That allowed Falconer to come through. Up the ice it goes. Lazarus couldn't catch the pass cleanly as back in the neutral zone once more. It's onto the stick of Cam Knight. Knight having some trouble with it. Here is Novak onto the breaks in the corner. Novak hooked towards the front of the net there as it trickles away to this near side wall to the blue line. Shot deflected. They score. Jens sent it towards the net. Knight knocked it down in front and that allowed Novak to hook it into an empty cage. 2-1 Amarillo leads with 1:24 remaining in the first period. The power play for the Bulls gave them life, and now they have the lead. On the face-off, here is Austin Bolio, and you think back to some of those big saves that Weatherly made when this game was 1-0. Litviak got to stick to this one here as Weatherly moved this one along the glass. On to the far side. Bolio and Staub tried to dig it free. Staub couldn't reach this one as charging forward. Here's Barriga. Rather, that was Hartman. Chipped towards the corner here. Hustling after it was Barriga. Taken away from him, however, as now once more it's behind the cage. Jeff Baum will take it in the last minute of play in the period. Brought to you by La Quinta Inns and Suites as Baum has it once more. Gives to Townsend. Nice stick work here by Townsend and got it up for Sharazin. Sharazin flung it cross ice. Wanted Colin Staub. It was in his skates as Staub will spike this one in deep. That was a bit of a bad break for the Wildcats on the goal as Knight got just enough to stop that one but couldn't maintain possession as it trickled right to Novak and Zevnik was left in no man's land after reacting to the initial shot. Here is Apap. Good puck protect here as now Farmer plays this one into the offensive zone in the last 28 of the first period here. Farmer into the corner. He'll look to take it around behind the cage. Farmer up to the blue line and Kosmeski. His shot deflects away there from Apap as it goes to the corner. Farmer, he's touched up with his stick as Sharazin looks to lead it along there. Sharazin hooked in front. Apap scores! 12.4 seconds remaining in the first, and the Wildcats level this one up. 2-2 on Apap's 9th of the year. A broken play behind the cage. Apap worked it along. It was left in the skates of Sharazin. Nobody knew where it was. Kevin found it first and sent it in front for Apap. Tommy didn't get a lot of it, but he just snuck it through the 5-hole. So a big goal with 12.4 seconds remaining to level this one up and give the Wildcats a little bit of forward momentum heading into the first intermission. This is Kosmeski skipping it down the ice over the stick of Jensch and rolls up short of icing, so we play on. Restano. This will elude everybody and work to the neutral zone, and that will be the horn. So, the Wildcats controlled the first 10-plus minutes of the contest. Amarillo had the last 3 or 4 minutes under their control, but a goal from Tommy Apap in the last 20 seconds of this contest has let the Wildcats tie this one up 2-2 heading into the intermission. Step aside. When we come back, we'll hear from Wildcats head coach John LaFontaine as the intermission report rolls on with Wildcats Hockey presented by Armored Roofing on FastHockey.com and the Wildcats Broadcast Network. Jaeger Coliseum. Ben Horner with you on FastHockey.com and the Wildcats Broadcast Network. It's Wildcats Hockey presented by Armored Roofing here at the KYC. 2-2 the score between your Wildcats and the Bulls. After one period of play, the Wildcats took a 1-0 lead. 2 goals in the span of 3.5 minutes, we'll call it, for Charlie Combs on the power play, and then Luke Novak from Ben Yench at 18:36 of the first. But the Wildcats responded with a late tally of their own. Tommy Apap tapping home from Kevin Sherazin. That's Apap's 34th point of the year on goal number 9. Sherazin assist 21 and point number 44, as Kosmecki's goal is listed as unassisted. So for the time being, 5 goals and 16 assists for 21 points for Mr. Shane Kosmecki. That is where we stand. The Wildcats 11 shots on goal. Amarillo 9 shots on goal. The Wildcats need to make sure that they are staying out of the penalty box, as it did not take long for Amarillo to take advantage of their first power play opportunity of the evening, less than a minute in fact. I had an opportunity to speak with Wildcats head coach John LaFontaine, and without any further ado, here's what he had to say earlier today. Horner with you, Wildcats fans, and joining me now, as always, before every Wildcats game is Wildcats head coach John LaFontaine. The Wildcats getting ready to wrap up their home schedule in the regular season. More games here at the KYC to come next month in the playoffs, but a lot to determine before we get into that. John, it was a great weekend for the Wildcats against Wenatchee. 4 points, and with results elsewhere, the Wildcats now control their destiny. If they win out, they win the South Division title. It's as simple as that, but it's a lot easier said than done. What were your general takeaways from that weekend, both here for the Wildcats and around the North American Hockey League South Division?
Well, Ben, you and I have been talking for a while about us improving defensively and playing better defensively, more sounder as a team, eliminating the team's quality chances, and our guys did that for 5 of the 6 periods this past weekend. We haven't limited the other team to that low of shots and those lower goals all year, and so it was very encouraging to see that. I think the only other time we did that was against Topeka, first weekend of the year kind of thing. So it was very encouraging to see that. The guys were committed to playing better defense. It didn't hurt our offense. Wenatchee is a very strong team. They're hard to play against. They're one of the fastest teams in the league. And so for us to be able to limit their shots on goal in the manner that we did was very encouraging. It was a full team effort.
Let's talk Saturday night a little bit here. The Wildcats did not get off to the best start, but still, despite getting outshot 9-2 in the first period, the defensive play in the zone was actually still quite solid. The breakout seemed to be an issue that got rectified in the second and the third period, but overall, what were your takeaways from that first period as you're watching it unfold on the bench?
Well, you pretty well hit it. We turned the puck over. We were trying to get the puck out. They would get it by us, and we would possess the puck, but boy, they were buzzing. They were all over us. Didn't give us much time, and I felt like our defensemen were really rushed. They didn't have enough support. Our forwards were kind of just slow to come back, slow to help out, and so as a result of all that, the puck was in our end. But you, like you said, it wasn't like they had 6 grade A chances. That they had one with some traffic that was kind of a goal that was a shot that kind of found its way through everybody and in the net. But for the most part, we weathered the storm without a lot of damage. We weathered the fact that they probably gave us their best period. They really were working hard and flying, and we just had no time and space. And obviously, as a coaching staff, we were concerned. Are our guys going to be able to rise to the challenge for this next period?
The other positive, or one of the other positive notes about that weekend, solid special teams performance all the way around, killing off 7 of 8 power play opportunities for Wenatchee, but more notably 7 straight after giving up a goal on the first power play opportunity. What did you like from the PK as it's steadily getting better and better as the weeks go on here in the second half of the season?
Well, I thought it was our best weekend of our PK force, not allowing them into the zone freely, not allowing them to just walk in over the blue line and set up. And if you can do that, and if you can be more assertive and aggressive and work as a unit to force them to dump it in or to chip it in, then you've got a chance to never let them have an easy entry into your zone and then set up, and now they're dictating with their power play what they want you to do. So that was probably our best PK force of the year.
Let's turn our attentions, John, to tonight's contest. Wildcats taking on the Amarillo Bulls, the last home game of the regular season here. Game 11 of 12 between these two teams this season. And John, what have you learned over the previous 10 games about this Amarillo squad? We've really been able to watch that group kind of evolve as a roster throughout from afar over the course of the season, and they've gotten a lot faster as the year has gone on.
Well, their defense are just so speedy and quick. It's hard to angle them off the puck, and the next thing you know, they're crossing over the red line with full speed and backing us into our zone, and everybody's got speed. So they've definitely have improved, and obviously that showed beating Topeka like they have, and they've beat us twice, and not just beat us, they've outplayed us in every aspect of the game. So if we're not ready to play our best, we're going to be in trouble because they're a desperate squad. They have to win to make the playoffs, and they're playing like every game is a playoff series right now, is life or death. So we've got to be able to match that intensity, and that we've got to want it as much, if not more, than them. And as if your back is to the wall like theirs are.
Found some success against Amarillo this season, particularly on the power play and in the second period. How do you go about ensuring that the power play stays successful against an Amarillo squad that's seen it so often? Throwing in different looks, is that something that you might pull out here tonight?
Yeah, their penalty kill has gotten better. With all that said, one of the reasons why they have been really strong as of late, and they've put up a pretty good stretch here of wins, is their special teams have really improved. Their goaltending has really improved. So we're going to have to make sure we match that. Now, they came very aggressive at us. We hope that we're going to, they're going to see something different. But the last weekend that we played them, our power play didn't click very well. I don't know if we even got a goal. If we did, it was just maybe one. But they really caused us some problems on their penalty kill, and then our PK wasn't very good on their power play. Their power play is really relegated to an umbrella, and they shoot, and they don't pass up a shot, and they crash the net. And as simple as that sounds, it was very tough for us to handle.
All right, we'll see if the Wildcats are able to do it tonight. John, thanks so much for joining us. We'll step aside. When we come back, we'll take a look at the one game going on around the North American Hockey League, and it's a big one of great importance for Wildcats fans, as Corpus Christi playing host to first place Lone Star Brahmas down there, as the Wildcats will head down to Corpus Christi for a big series this Friday and Saturday. We'll step aside. When we come back, we'll check in with that game, as Wildcats hockey presented by Armored Roofing will continue just after this.
Wildcats head coach John LaFontaine, as now we will throw it back to last Saturday's contest against the Wenatchee Wild with highlights from the Cats' 4-1 win from last Saturday. Tim Farrell, tonight's referee, bringing them together, and the puck is down. We're underway in the first period, brought to you by American Classified, as off the draw, here is Matt Cook in his own zone. Farmer can't fish that one free in the neutral zone. Knight will spike this one back out towards the neutral zone, but it's spiked back down low once more. First to it here is Cook. He'll run it along the kick plate. Couldn't get it to Sheridan. Bailey towards the net. Off a leg and wide. Loose puck there, and Shaw covers up. He wasn't able to cover. He got run there pretty hard. Back towards the front of the net. Still it's loose, and it's knocked away to the far side wall. Towards the net. They score! It was tipped in front. Shaw had it covered. Someone slashed it out of his hand. And as a result, the Wildcats can't clear, and Wenatchee takes a 1-0 lead, a minute 4 seconds in. Pulowski ties up with Kosmeski. Kosmeski worked it loose, and will play this one behind the cage and along for Lazarus. Lazarus, his pass, ambitious there. Here's Kosmeski racing away. Kosmeski left it behind, turns it around, shot towards the front of the net, loose puck at the top of the crease, and it's slapped away to the wall. Kosmeski was skating too fast, and he couldn't let his hands catch up to him. Otherwise, he would have been in all alone. Kosmeski showing off his speed, and now we're going to see David Zebnik relieve Austin Shaw. Not sure if he's hurt or whether he needs some maintenance on that blocker. Zebnik relieves Austin Shaw. Puts it on his backhand, wheels to the blue line for Bailey. Bailey, now it's Stefan. Slashed off his stick, shot save, rebound is loose, puck still loose, pops up into the air, still it's loose. Zebnik on his belly, he has his toe sealed and it's cleared, but not out. Bailey holds this one in. Cook lunges at it but couldn't get it past the blue line. Here is Pulowski. Wildcats are shorthanded for the next 45 seconds still. They have yet to clear the zone. Of the ice, now it's Apap at the right wing wall. Here is Apap gaining the zone and walking towards the corner. Puts on the brakes. In front, Sherazin scores! Kevin Sherazin, 25 seconds gone on the power play. The streak is over, and the Wildcats tie this one up. It's 1-1 with 16:21 remaining in the second. Apap took the pass in the neutral zone, skated down the right wing wall, slammed on the brakes just below the goal line, hooked back in front for Sherazin, and Sherazin put it past Bullion before he even knew it hit him. Townsend thought about hammering it towards the net. Here is Knight. Slap pass, back door, shot, save. Bolio can't tuck it home. It's loose behind the cage as he couldn't corral it cleanly, and it was behind the cage. Here's Cam Knight. Picked his pocket there, loose puck, and it was Jones who had the opportunity, but the Wildcats will float this one down the ice as the rebound was juicy, but there was nobody in a black sweater there waiting for it. Sherazin, he'll hold in, protects, gives to Apap. Apap trailer, here's Farmer, scores! Oh, what a passing play! It was held by Sherazin at the point. He gave to Apap in the corner. Apap gave it to Farmer in the high slot, and Farmer gave it to the back of the net, and the Wildcats lead 2-1. Towards the cage of Zebnik, he'll steer it wide. Oakley ran it into the stride of Lazarus. Lazarus picking up speed at the left wing side, has a step. Here's Lazarus in front, towards the middle, and a great bad save there on Falconer, who is charging down the net. Here is Knight towards the cage, and it was wide. Play on, and Falconer plays that one in deep. He had a grade A chance there, but he wasn't able to elevate it over the pad. Boyan, who made a big save, pushing from right to left to keep this a one-goal game. Here comes Albrecht straight down the middle. Albrecht at the circle. His shot scores! Picked the corner on the far side. His second goal of the weekend. An insurance tally for the Cats. They lead 3-1 with 11:41 remaining. It was a broken play on the breakout by the Wild. Albrecht took it into the zone, had a man on his left, didn't use him, and then picked the far side for his 8th tally. He's checked out his 7th of the year. Into this game after being the backup at the start has performed very well here. Nice play by Baum, gloves it down and moves it forward, and it's served along there. Getting a stick to it by Azanaro. That negates the icing. Turned over, Azanaro scores! Bullion left it behind the net. Someone picked his pocket. Might have been Albrecht or Subri, but it's 4-1 with 5:21 remaining in the third. Azanaro gets his 3rd goal of the season with the Wildcats, and the easiest one he's ever going to get. As Bullion went walking, the Wildcats took the puck right back and tapped it into the empty net. 7 seconds remaining here in a Saturday contest. The seconds will tick away. Lazarus leaves this one behind the cage, and there's the horn as Konzo gives him an obligatory bump. That'll do it. A 4-point weekend for the Wildcats. Wildcats last weekend against the Wenatchee Wild. They'll be looking to make it. 4 wins in a row here in March as we enter the second period in just a few moments. Quick check on the Jerry Sporting Goods Out-of-Town scoreboard. By the way, we will have a Jerry Sporting Goods Out-of-Town scoreboard preview edition in the second period as we'll take a look at what's going on this weekend around the North American Hockey League. Lots of big series to keep our eyes on. But in Corpus Christi, one other game going on tonight. It is 2-0, the Ice Rays holding the lead over the Lone Star Brahmas as Wes Michaud and Maxime Gioshvili have scored in the frame for Corpus Christi as they look to post a home win. Round. They also look to closer towards locking up a playoff spot. Their magic number to clinch a playoff spot is 5 for the Ice Rays. We'll keep an eye on that one throughout the remainder of the night. But that'll do it for us here on the intermission. We'll step aside when we come back. Second period of action right here from the K. Yeager Coliseum. Back. FastHockey.com and the Wildcats Broadcast Network. Wildcats Hockey presented by Armored Roofing will continue just after. Jaeger Coliseum, Ben Horner with you on FastHockey.com and the Wildcats Broadcast Network. 2-2 the score between the Cats and the Amarillo Bulls. We'll skate at 5-on-5 to start out this frame. Teams will change ends as now Jacob Weatherly in the cage to our right. The Bulls skate from P to Q across your keyboard and right to left across your screen. David Zevnik in the cage to our left as the Wildcats skate left to right across your screen and Q to P across your keyboard. Kosmeski and APAP in the first period for the Wildcats. Charlie Combs and Luke Novak, the guys we spot shadowed on the pregame, doing the damage for Amarillo as Harrison, Novak, and Combs continue to light it up. I mentioned Combs in the pregame. He had 14 points in his last 10 outings. Harrison, 10 points in his last 10 outings. Novak, 9 in his last 10 outings as that group has stayed hot. It will be Tommy APAP taking the opening face-off of the second period against A.J. Dugan in the middle. Charlie Combs on the left wing side. Joey DiBenedetto on the right. Farmer and Sharazin flanking APAP. Cook and Knight the defenseman for the Wildcats, whereas it'll be Ben Yench and Restano for the Bulls. Looks like we are good to go here, and the puck is down. We are underway in the second period, brought to you by American Classified as Off the Draw. As we skate 5-on-5 in a 2-2 game. This one is into the middle of the ice. Combs trying to walk his way around Knight. Drop pass, quick shot off a leg. That goes wide. Cook sweeps at this one, can't clear the zone. Held in here, barely on the blue line as it's sent down low. Now the Wildcats might be in trouble. Great play by Knight to get his body in the way as a bouncing puck is in the face-off circle, and Knight will spike it to the wall. Sharazin, he was just able to force this one into the neutral zone as it's sent back in deep by Amarillo. They'll tag up on a delayed offside. Zevnik leaves this one to be picked up here by Cam Knight. Knight with 35 seconds gone in the first period. Nice pass up the ice. Farmer loses it in his skates, gets it over the red line, and plays this one in deep. Goes to the glass behind the cage of Weatherly. The Wildcats might get caught on a change here. Headman pass here is Gilling. He directed it into the offensive zone, couldn't take it cleanly as Kosmeski ramped it around, and now the Wildcats might have numbers back the other way. Here is Colin Staub. He'll skate 3-on-3 and cut towards the middle. Staub shot wide of the cage, rebound towards the front of the net there for Litviak. Bolio picks up the loose disc. Up to the blue line. Kosmeski along for Cherniak. Had some trouble with it, did Cherniak, as this is Amarillo skating forward. It's Gilling. Worked it along for Novak. Novak chipped towards the front of the net. Loose puck there. It's still loose, and finally Litviak picks this one up. He'll skate forward 1-on-2. Outside the red line, and now just outside the blue line. He'll play in deep. Ride his man off the puck behind the net. The Wildcats were in the midst of a change as no reinforcements were coming for Nikita. At his own blue line. Up for Albrecht. Albrecht given a bump from behind. This one sent in wide of the cage of Zevnik here as Baum is the first to it. Hard around the corner boards as Albrecht picks this one up. Pass was behind Azanaro, but Azanaro will look to race onto this one. It's towards the cage of Weatherly. Clears but not out. Nice play by Albrecht to serve it back down low. As behind the cage, here's Austin Azanaro. Azanaro hooked up to the blue line. Here's Townsend, one-timer, deflects, hits the post, no goal, no goal. It hit the skate of Subri, hit the post, hit the other post, and didn't go. Townsend on a big blast from the blue line. The red light went on, very clearly never crossed, as we will get the stoppage. 18:06 remaining in the second period. It hit the skates of Subri, hit the first post, then hit the second, but somehow stayed out. Off to the left of Weatherly. Should be kissing the iron to his left and right when play goes up the other way. The goaltender's best friend in this regard. Here is Oakley. Nicely up to the point for Baum. Now along for Townsend near side. Townsend shakes towards the net, deflecting around there, and goes to the corner boards. Oakley pressed in hard there. Lazarus wasn't able to get possession on this one, as this is Barriga. He'll chase down Townsend. Townsend having some trouble with it here as he'll put it in his skates. Nice move there by Townsend to fish it away from Barriga, but he'll lose out on the puck. Trying to help out is Falconer. Townsend works this one down the ice, and in front of the Wildcats bench, Leonidas will collect. 17:35 remaining in the second. Leonidas will take this one off the pass from the man behind the net there. That was Johnson. Now it's into the middle of the ice. Gilling, his hook pass back. He was hoping for Leonidas. Farmer will chase this one down. First to it on the far side, it's Damien. Farmer gives his man a good bump and hooked it along the blue line. It was away from Sharazin, as this allows Amarillo to pick up once more, and Gilling works it back for Leonidas. APAP in on an aggressive forecheck. Wildcats buzzing a little bit here as it's served to the near side wall. Into the neutral zone it goes. Farmer trying to chase this one down. Gilling first to it here. Can't get around Cook. Played towards the front of the net there. Wide. Apap first to it there. He was able to get it to the neutral zone, but no further, as Amarillo will tag up on a delayed offside and start up a change. Here is Matt Cook taking it off the stick of Zebnik. Cook, his pass up the ice. He wanted a teammate there. This will not be icing as someone got to stick to it as the Cats will start up a change. 16:40 remaining in the second. 2-2 the score. Wildcats buzzing on the forecheck. Sherrison almost won it back. Leaves it behind and comes to the bench for a change as Jensch will wait for Dugan to swing back. Wanted it. Jensch maintains control, plays it up the ice. No icing here as Zebnik will play this one away from an on-rushing Johnson for Cook to serve it farther along to the far side. Nice play by Bolio to touch it along for Staub. Staub gains his zone at the left wing wall. At the circle now, here's Colin Staub. Puts on the brakes. It's a trailing pass, and there was nobody there as he wanted to go up to the point. Instead, Riley Christensen starts the other way. Nice play by Bolio to take it away from him. Knight knocks it away, but only as far as Dugan on the far side wall. Here's a man in the middle. Quick shot. Toe save. Still it's loose, shot blocked again, another shot trickles wide of the cage as Christensen will pick up the puck again. Christensen tries to shank towards the middle, has some room, walking in front, saved by Zebnik on the 5-hole bid. 15:53 remaining in the second period. The Wildcats have a great chance up at their end. Then a few minutes later, Amarillo gets a good shift on there. Zebnik gets some help from his defense, and we stay at 2-2. Remaining in the second, face-off to the right of Zebnik as Dugan, Combs, and DiBenedetto out there. Here is Combs, quick shot, blocked there, didn't get all the way through. Restano grabs the rebound and plays down behind the net for Combs. Combs upended by Chernyuk, who stops playing here. Now it's Restano, delayed call, shot, save, rebound, it's loose, and touching up are the Wildcats. But they'll be shorthanded. Chernyuk takes a tripping call, and here's what you don't like about that. You hate the reaction from Chernyuk because he got called, and instead of hustling to try and touch up and minimize the damage, he looked at the referee and allowed Combs to keep skating. So, the Wildcats 0 for 1 in the Gilmore's Collision Center penalty kill against an Amarillo Bulls side that went 3 for 8 on the man advantage back on February the 20th and 21st. Go back to work here. They're 1 for 1 already this evening as this is onto the stick of Farmer, and he'll spank it down the ice off the bench boards. You can't take penalties like that. Thought it might have been a little bit weak, but it certainly could have been called, and Denbach is playing this one tight here this evening. Sherrison rubs his man out as the Wildcats try to keep Amarillo from gaining the zone. They do just that for the time being, but now Combs will swat this one around. Took an awkward bounce there, took it towards the cage of Zebnik, but instead Townsend clears, but not all the way down. But now, on a second attempt, Farmer is able to direct this down the ice. 15 minutes remaining in the second period, a minute 20 remaining in the Wildcats penalty kill. Here is Gilling walking in with Matt Cook in front of him. Nice job there by Cook to force Amarillo back once more. Gilling right back into the offensive zone. He was forced back a little bit farther by Oakley. Now curls along and tries to take it through the bench area. Oakley took his man off it, but walking in, here's Novak in the slot. Now to the left side, centering bid, they don't score. It's still loose, and we get the whistle as Zebnik makes the save. Wow. Great setup there. It was Novak and Harrison on the back door. Harrison tried to pump fake and feed it back to the middle. Somehow Zebnik was able to keep that puck out of his net. 14:40 remaining in the second period. The Wildcats have a minute 2 seconds remaining on the Gilmore's Collision Center penalty kill as the score is 2-2, but they're living dangerously. Face off, Amarillo wasn't ready for it as it escaped everybody and went all the way down. Back into their own end are the Bulls as first to start up the ice. Here is Charlie Combs. Combs will leave a little drop pass along for Cody Gilling. Gilling gets to the red line. Fed towards the middle. Now Cam Knight swats it down the ice. Here's Bolio shorthanded. Bolio tries to put on the brakes in the corner. Staub gets towards the middle. Centering there for Staub. Where's the puck? It's loose behind the net. Great back check there by Combs, or Staub would have been in unmarked, shorthanded on the centering feed. Bulls bring it up the ice once more. Here's Riley Christensen gaining the zone at the left wing side. He'll take towards the corner there. First to the loose puck behind the net was Colin Staub. Skates around one man and then sends it down the ice, but it didn't go all the way down as Hartman will take it in his own zone from Leonidas. Hartman, 10 seconds remaining in the penalty to Chernyuk. Here is Gilling. Now Cook floats it softly up the ice for Sherazin in the final few seconds. Sherazin will wire this one all the way down. That should do it, as out of the box is Konstantin Chernyuk. Much better job on the penalty kill there by the Wildcats. Brought to you by Gilmore's Collision Center, as they did a great job of not allowing Amarillo into the offensive zone. Here is A.J. Dugan trying to get around one man and a second. He does. Onside play. Dugan shot off a leg. Lively. Karam to the back wall. It's loose, and now it's picked up by Farmer. He fanned on this one, but APAP was able to jab it along. Karam's to the neutral zone, but onto the stick of Dugan. APAP pushed it farther down the ice. Leonidas, though, and now Hartman for Amarillo as we tick down towards 7 minutes played in this second period. 2-2 the score. Zebnik behind the cage. Here's Shane Kosmeski. Almost turned over. Here's Dugan trying to walk free. Now it's Riley Christensen. Christensen played back down low towards the corner. Now it's Townsend behind the cage. Quickly along for Farmer. Farmer dusting this one off. Floats it through the middle of the zone as APAP tries to jab it along. On his backhand, now to the forehand. He'll fling it in deep as the Cats are in the midst of a change. Intercepted in the neutral zone. The Wildcats will see this one. Oh, big collision there, but getting in the zone. Here's Christensen, centering feed there for someone trailing in the slot. Nobody was home as Dugan was coming to the bench for a change. Now it's Albrecht trying to gather up some steam and get to the red line. He'll chip in towards the left wing corner. Can't get his way past his man. Got away. No, didn't get away with a high stick, as touching up is Matt Cook. Albrecht got his stick loose. It caught Leonidas, rather Ben Yench up high. Is it going to be 2 or 4? But the Wildcats inviting more pressure on themselves, as it's going to be just 2 minutes, it looks like, as they will be shorthanded. They just killed off a tripping minor to Konstantin Chernyuk, but the Gilmore's Collision Center penalty kill will go right back to work against an Amarillo power play that last weekend against Topeka was quite strong. At least in the grand scheme of things, when you consider Topeka's penalty kill success, 1 for 10 man advantage last weekend, as Lazarus hooks it but can't clear it. Senelius walking down the slot, shot, scores. You don't clear the puck, you give them a second chance opportunity like that, and you're going to get burned. The Wildcats have to stop taking silly penalties, as now they trail 3-2. Second time tonight they've trailed by a goal. Lazarus needs to get that one down the ice. If he had to do it again, he'd play it to the middle of the blue line, but Senelius scores his second of the year on the power play to make it 3-2. So bringing this one back in are the Wildcats as they trail once more. It was away from Bolio, trying to step down the wall, and doing so was Townsend. Nice keep there by Townsend as he'll take it along for Bolio once more. Bolio as Litviak towards the middle, curls away to the corner, does Bolio, as this is Austin Bolio serving it back around behind. To the far side it runs. Baum left it there as he tried to play it farther down the wall, as trying to dig it loose was Amarillo. They might skate up with numbers. Bringing it forward, here's Hartman. Gloved away there by Baum in the neutral zone. He'll swing it along to this near side for Litviak to walk in. Here's Litviak putting on the brakes, trailing play, nobody home. Might have hit a skate and carry him to the blue line. Now it's Townsend in his own zone. Banked it along for Bolio. Bolio sweeps in deep as Weatherly will step out of his crease to play this one here. That goes in on an obligatory forecheck as the Wildcats were in the midst of a change. Mika steps in front of Kosmeski and was able to work the puck into the offensive zone. Now here's a centering bid off the outside of the cage. First to it behind the net, now into the corner. It's Konstantin Chernyuk. 11:07 remaining in this second period as Chernyuk worked it along for APAP, spins and hooks this one all the way into the offensive zone. Took a bump from behind right in front of the referee Denbach. No call upcoming as this is Damien trying to dig there as APAP gets involved. Now it's Sherazin. Softly up to the point for Kosmeski. Loading. Shot. Locked in front. Goes up and out of play. They say it hit a Wildcat skater, and they'll move it to the neutral zone. So 10:48 remaining in the second period. The Wildcats now trailing 3-2 because of their inability to stay out of the box and their inability to kill off a penalty. It took all of 9 seconds after Austin Albrecht got whistled for a high stick in the offensive zone for the Wildcats to concede their second power play goal of the night. Whatever is going on the PK, it's just not working right now. Here is Matt Cook. Cam Knight will take it off Cook's blade. Now look out, Knight had some trouble with it. Albrecht dumped down from behind. Amarillo maintains possession, but it squirts free. Subri gave it up in the neutral zone as well, as the Wildcats are playing way too fast and loose and a little bit lackadaisical right now. Here is Zebnik. They are getting outshot 7-0 in this period. Wow. Knight plays this one in deep. Lively carom off the back wall. Weatherly will cover up. We'll get the horn or the whistle here with 10-12 remaining in the second. This is a bit reminiscent of the first period against Wenatchee last Saturday night, or this past Saturday, I should say. But right now, this is about what you would expect. Amarillo using the power play to boost momentum. They've scored twice on 3 opportunities. And that right now, the difference in the game. Racing away, here's Gilling through the middle, wanting a pass. Doesn't get it from Mika as Mika gains his own. Got it to Gilling anyway, drop pass. Here's Mika towards the net, spiked away. Now a big one-timer fanning on it that was Restagno. Mika looks to go in front. Now it's Gilling. Gilling up to the blue line. Here is Damian, shot saved there by Zevnik, rather Ben Yench with the effort. And he'll hold on. 9:52 remaining in this second period as the Wildcats are trailing 3-2. They're being outshot 8-0 in this second frame here at the K. Yeager Coliseum, and someone needs to give them a wake-up call. .42 remaining in the second period. We are in the period immediate timeout. Get you some situationals here. When tied after 1, Amarillo is 6-7-2. The Wildcats, when tied after the first, 11-5-0. But Amarillo has the better of the play right now for sure. As the faceoff will be to the left of David Zevnik, who's seeing a lot of shots right now, and has been beaten 3 times. The Senelius one you might want back if you're David Zevnik, because that one slipped through the 5-hole. And there wasn't really any traffic in front, but Senelius was allowed to wheel into the shot from the blue line all the way to the top of the left circle. After the Wildcats couldn't clear the zone, they won the face-off, worked it up the wall, and couldn't clear it down the ice, and they got burned. Face-off will be to the left of Zevnik. Staub will take the draw. Litviak tries to chip it forward, wants Bolio as this is going to go out of play. Bolio was racing into the offensive zone. Put the puck all the way down into the defensive zone of the Wildcats. That's to the left of David Zevnik. Ben Horner with you on FastHockey.com and the Wildcats Broadcast Network. Good crowd on hand for this one, but Wildcats have given them a couple of things to cheer about, but they trail 3-2. Inside the second period, Litviak lost his stick as he tried to cancel out Christensen's good shot there from the far side, as this is Kosmeski digging it loose, got it to Litviak, who had retrieved his stick. Litviak gets to the red line, floats it wide of the cage. First to it there behind the net was Hartman, as he'll send it along to this near side wall. Cherniak backpedaling there, was he able to hold his own. Staub had some trouble with it in the neutral zone. He'll spin, collect, and circle back once more as he didn't like what was in front of him. Here is Staub. Wants to play a chip pass to the near side where Bolio was waiting. Staub puts on the brakes just inside his own blue line as Kosmeski will play this one up the ice. Here is Litviak. Litviak, shot. Blocked wide there on the blocker hand. Staub first to it on the far side. He'll protect there as he'll wait for reinforcements from Austin Bolio. 9 minutes remaining in the second. They count that one as a shot on goal, but it's the first one of the period for the Wildcats as this is cleared into the neutral zone. Cherniak spins on it, turns up ice, and plays it off to Kosmeski in his own zone as the Wildcats were in the midst of a change. Wildcats look out here, might turn it over. Here's Christensen. Skates down the left wing wall. Kosmeski takes a puck behind his own net. Loose puck there. Christensen still maintains possession. Now once more, here's Christensen wheeling all the way around the zone. At the left circle, loading shot blocked in front there. Loose puck trickles wide of the post. Behind the cage with it. It's stepped onto by Cherniak, who turned it over to Novak. Novak hooked it down the wall. Cherniak got it back and played it up the ice. Wanted Farmer. It was onto the stick of Leonidas instead as Novak wheels this one in. Toe picked at the blue line. Maintains possession. Now loses to Colin Staub, who runs this one around. The Wildcats not good in their own zone right now. Here's Fromberger. Now Mika diving down to the ice. No call upcoming. Shot blocked here. Goes away to the corner as Kosmeski has some trouble with it here. Tried to shovel it along there. The referee, Denbach, got in his way. Staub tied his man up. As still trying to work it free was Kosmeski. Worked it to a teammate, but it was intercepted. Leonidas shot blocked in front as Sherazin measures this one up and will go for a skate. Left it for Farmer. Upended here with Sherazin. That'll draw an interference call as the Wildcats will play this one in deep and allow Amarillo to touch up. 7:44 remaining in the second. Tripping is the call. Either way, I mean, Denbach gets the wrong penalty, but the result is the same. That should have been an interference. Result is the same, 2 minutes for tripping, as Gilling will go to the box. The Wildcats 0 for 1 on the power play and trailing 3-2, head to their second man advantage of the night. Face off to the left of Weatherly. And if you're wondering how the Wildcats did on the power play against Amarillo back in February at the Amarillo Civic Center, they were 2 for 6. Here tonight, as a loose puck is in the skates of Jensch. Litviak worked it free. Here's Litviak. His backhand, punched it along for Bolio on the far side. Bolio into the corner. Here's Staub. Holding in front, Litviak. He fanned on it. It hit his skate, and Weatherly will cover. 7:30 remaining in the second. The Wildcats have hit the post in this second period. Litviak fans on a great opportunity there as they continue to trail 3-2. 7:30 remaining in the second period. Cody Gilling remaining in the box for the next minute 47 on the Wildcats' second power play of the night. Off the face-off, getting some time on this man advantage was Oakley. Loose puck is behind the net. Nobody knew where it was, as off to the far side at Karams, Knight with a good step was able to hold his own. Back down into the corner for Bolio. Here is Bolio, tied up there as Damien spins this one, but not down the ice. Bolio protects, gives to Knight at the blue line. Here is Knight. Now Townsend, right circle, dusting it off. He'll take it around and hold possession once more. Curling back to the top of the zone, gives to Cam Knight. Knight holds on it, slap pass wide, rebound. Townsend following up, he'll send it high and over the cage. Here is Oakley. Gloved it down. Got to stick to it in play to Bolio. Knight, middle of the blue line, deflecting around and trickles wide of the cage. Townsend behind the net for Litviak. Let it run for Bolio. 1:05 remaining in the Cats' power play. Here is Knight. Townsend again. Townsend tries to go down low. Blocked in front. Caraming around there. Litviak can't stuff it home, and Weatherly will cover it up. Litviak had his stick tied up. He couldn't get all of it on the shot. 6:40 remaining in the second period. The Wildcats, some good puck movement around the perimeter of the zone. They have 57 seconds remaining in their power play. Second power play of the night. Thus far, Weatherly coming up large. And we're starting to see why Amarillo did go with Weatherly. Even though Martinson was the hot hand at the time, Weatherly has come up with some big performances against the Wildcats this year. Clean win off the faceoff. Sharazin back to Matt Cook. Cook dusts it off and gives down to the half wall for Staub. Here's Staub walking to the high slot. Shot blocker save there, as rather it was Staub and Apap. And now Farmer up to Cook at the point. Towards the net, deflecting. They score! It was fished out. It was a delayed call. Denbach is going to talk to the goal judge here. They called it goal on the ice. Sharazin celebrates. We don't know what we are going to have here, as Denbach is going to talk to Spoor, the linesman. The goal judge coming over to talk about this one here. The call on the ice was goal, and immediately he signaled to the goal judge for a conference. We'll see what the call is here. It was a very brief and short conversation. Let's see. The goal is up on the board for the time being. And it's a goal. Good goal for the Wildcats. They score on the power play. We're tied up at 3. Someone swatted it home on the power play. Just barely crossed the line, but we're tied up again. After giving up 2 power play goals, the Wildcats score one of their own. Let's see who they credit that to. Either way, we're back to where we started again. 3-3 the score here at the KYC, as we'll get back to 5-on-5 play. Pretty much all the Wildcats players celebrated that one immediately. Martinson, or rather Weatherly, fished it out of his cage and tried to say it never crossed the line. They give it to number 11, Tommy Apap, as Sharazin can't clear the zone, but this one is cleared out of play on the backhand by Senalius. They give the goal to Apap. That is his second of the night, if that stands, and that's 10 on the year for Tommy. Farmer gets an assist, 27th of the year for Nick, 47th point of the year. Neutral zone faceoff, a new game, as look out, here's Dugan trying to walk forward, and the Wildcats are going to get called for a penalty again, as Denbach is getting whistle happy. Trying to touch up are the Wildcats. Amarillo on a delayed power play. Here's Dugan towards the net, glove saved by Zebnik with 5:59 remaining in the second. As we're going to get a hooking call here, and going to the box is Austin Albrecht for the second time this period. Amarillo scored on the power play the last time he was in the box. If they can do it again. They are 2 for 3 on the man advantage. Are the Wildcats, or the Amarillo Bulls, beg your pardon. Ben Horner with you inside the last 6 minutes here in the second period at the K. Yeager Coliseum. 3-3 to score, but Amarillo heading to their power play. They've been clinical on the man advantage thus far. Off one here by the Wildcats. Farmer protects behind the net. Spun it along. Knight clears, but not out. Good keep there by Senelius. To the corner it goes once more, and this time Knight will fling it the length of the ice. Bat from Cook and Farmer is the official scoring on the goal. Charging down the ice, here is Combs, intercepted it before he got into the blue line. Played by a high stick here by Amarillo. That allows Apap to pick it up shorthanded. Apap left it behind as Senelius picked his pocket and left it for Novak. 5.5 remaining in the second period. Novak, drop pass for Combs. Combs looks to race into the zone and does. Drop pass here for Senelius as Amarillo looks to get set up. Here's Senelius hooking it back to Gilling at the point. Gilling dusting it off, blocked there by Farmer. Played back down low into the corner it goes. Novak tied up there, but he'll keep possession. Now loses out to Cam Knight. Knight will spike this off the glass, and it just pinballs around. Now look out, here's Staub trying to race forward as Weatherly comes out of his cage to play it away from Staub. If he had picked it up cleanly ahead of Cody Gilling, who was draped all over him, he would have been away shorthanded. Either way, we play on as Bolio is in shorthanded on the forecheck. Novak under some pressure here as Bolio tries to pick his pocket. Nice skate here by Bolio, but Novak escapes and walks in. Here's Novak down the middle at the left circle. Shot goes up high and gets the glass as racing over to the far side is Bolio, and he was just able to get that one into the neutral zone. He'll protect here, drops it for Cam Knight to rag off some more time. Knight skating forward now, drops for Staub, holding on. His shot saved and held by Martinson. We'll get the whistle. 4:28 remaining in the second period. 29 seconds remaining in the penalty. A hook to Austin Albrecht at 14:01 of the second period. And the Wildcats will have an offensive zone faceoff coming to the left of Weatherly as they are shorthanded for the next 29 seconds. Washed out of the draw here is Subri getting some PK time. Well, check that. No, that was just a worn-off encroachment as Subri and Sherazin will combine to take this one towards the corner. Subri lost out, couldn't get it up to the point. Now Townsend serves it back down low to waste a few more seconds. Behind the net here, Sherazin couldn't stuff it towards the top of the crease as back in possession once more. Here's Kyle Hartman. 10 seconds remaining in the penalty to Albrecht. Hartman down the middle to the red line into the glove of Zebnik, and he will cover up. Ooh, took a little look behind him there. Wasn't sure if he had gotten that one between the legs. He had. We got the whistle. 4:04 remaining in the second. 5 seconds remaining on the penalty to Austin Albrecht. Face-off will be to the left of Zebnik here. Ben Horner with you on FastHockey.com and the Wildcats Broadcast Network. If you're just joining us, 2 in the first from each team and 1 in the second from either side. Has us tied up 3 goals apiece. Kosmeski, Apap, and Apap for the Wildcats. Combs, Novak, and Senelius for Amarillo. Off the faceoff, Leonidas back down low. Spinning away in the corner, here's Mika. We're back to 5-on-5 play as Dugan protects towards the front of the net there. Intercepted as this is Apap looking to charge forward. Apap flipped it ahead. Albrecht racing after it. No icing here. Albrecht fresh from the sin bin. Skates this one around behind the net. Tries to maintain possession. He does. Albrecht jabbing it along there as Hartman has him tied up, and the Wildcats get their change on after that penalty kill. Here is Falconer. He'll maintain possession. Spins it back down towards the corner off the high glass as Oakley goes in on the forecheck. Leonidas losing out. Falconer digging it loose there as Dugan and Oakley wait for the loose puck. Oakley lost out there. Hartman with it once more as still it's Mika. Hammered around the boards. Great keep there by Kosmeski. He'll walk down. Shot deflected away and goes up and out of play. A good stick save there by Weatherly as he ramped that one to the protective netting. 3:17 remaining in the second. We're skating 5-on-5. What a keep there by Kosmeski. Good strong stick at the blue line, had some space, walked into it, let a shot go as the young defenseman from Illinois full of confidence after picking up a goal here this evening in the first period. Face off to Weatherly's right, and how the Wildcats would love to get one here to have the lead going into the break. Of course, you'd obviously say the same about Amarillo. Chernyuk has his man tied up. He wasn't able to pick up the loose puck as this is Harrison behind his own cage. Almost lost out there to Subri. Albrecht is able to fish it free. Poked it softly towards the corner for Azanaro. Azanaro tied up there by a couple of guys. Restagno chief among them as Albrecht worked it behind. Here is Albrecht spinning it around. Rather, that was Subri who had it behind the net as this is banked down the ice. Off the glass it goes. Kosmeski the first to it here. He'll look to use the net as protection and does. Kosmeski off the boards. As an arrow couldn't reach this pass in the neutral zone. Harrison has it and gives to Restagno. Offensive zone it goes for Amarillo. Kosmeski gloves it down, banks it back in between the blue lines, as this is Jensch taking a bump there from Azanaro, but getting the puck into the zone. Delayed offside here, and we'll get the whistle as touching up was, I believe, Ledania in front of his own bench. 2:29 remaining in the second. The Wildcats and Amarillo tied up 3 goals apiece. Tommy Apap at 13:36 on the Wildcats' second power play of the evening has leveled this one up at 3 apiece after just Versanelia scored a power play goal in the second period for Amarillo to make it 3-2. That's where we stand, as off the faceoff, Bolio will play this one down the ice. No icing here, as Weatherly sticked it along. It would have been icing, but Weatherly kept play moving instead. Wildcats jab it towards a corner in the form of Staub. Litviak rolls off a big hit there, tries to work it in front, dives down to the ice, disrupts play momentarily, but now it's brought forward once more. Here is Coombs, onside play. Rather, it's Gilling turning his shot in and out of the glove there of Zebnik. To the far side it goes. Christensen tied up there nicely by Bolio, who got it along for Staub. Here is Colin Staub. Chips it in front for Litviak here, as the Wildcats are able to gain the zone just barely. Staub will go to the corner to duel with Sinelius, as the Cats were in the midst of a change. It's sent off to the far side wall. First to it on the far side in the corner was Sherazin. Spiked back behind. Gilling first to it there for Amarillo, as the Wildcats were in the midst of a change. Minute 35 remaining in the second period. 3-3 the score, as Gilling moves it along for Sinelius at the left wing wall. Sinelius up the ice for Riley Christensen. Waits for Novak. Toe drag here. Christensen forced wide there by Cook. On the near side wall, Christensen skates through the check. Maintains possession. Serves it towards the corner. The Wildcats were able to take him off the puck, as in the far side it runs for Sherazin, who takes it softly back for Matt Cook. Cook slams on the brakes. Dugan draped all over him. Along for Sherazin far side. Sherazin bumped off it there by Novak. Legal enough play. Novak loses out to Matt Cook, who chips it softly along for Sherazin. We hit the last minute of play in the period, brought to you by La Quinta Inns and Suites. Here is Farmer getting in the zone at the right wing wall. On his backhand, who's forced to play it towards the corner, where Apap will go and pursue. Novak with it there for Amarillo. This one cleared up and out into the neutral zone by the Bulls. Townsend in the last minute of play in the period, brought to you by La Quinta Inns and Suites. Look out here. Here is Dugan down the slot. Forced wide to the left circle, towards the front of the net, well wide of the cage. First to it on the far side, it's Damien. He'll play it back around the kick plate. Townsend first to it behind his own net. Bumped off it there by DiBenedetto. Nice play by Townsend to step away from DiBenedetto once, twice, and a third time. Townsend put under some more pressure here, worked it quickly along, hoping for bomb. Instead, it found Azanaro, as the Wildcats were able to kick it to the neutral zone, as Subri got a skate to it. Last 20 seconds of this second period. Townsend, Azanaro. Was he able to get a stick to it? Yes, he forced it into the neutral zone, as Subri turned it over, though. Jabbed away once more. Now Albrecht in the neutral zone, trying to protect. Played across ice. Nobody home. 5 seconds remaining. One last rush? Maybe not. Serve towards the corner, and that'll do it in the second period. There's the horn. The Wildcats got drastically outplayed in the first 10 minutes of the second period. Really picked it up in the second half of this middle frame and tied the contest. 3-3 the score as we enter the second intermission. Shots on goal, 19-18 in favor of Amarillo in the contest, 10-7 in favor of the Bulls in the second period. We'll step aside when we come back. We'll take a look at what's going on around the North American Hockey League this weekend. Jerry Sporting Goods out-of-town scoreboard preview. That and more coming your way as Wildcats Hockey presented by Armored Roofing will continue just after this on FastHockey.com and the Wildcats Broadcast Network. And Ben Horner with you. Second intermission here from Falls. 3-3 the score between your Wildcats and the Amarillo Bulls on FastHockey.com and the Wildcats Broadcast Network as Wildcats Hockey presented by Armored Roofing. On here on Fan Appreciation Night. Good crowd in the building for this one. Free admission, so fans taking advantage of a little midweek hockey here at the KYC. Now, without any further ado, we take a look at what's on deck for this Friday and Saturday around the North American Hockey League. Wildcats fans, second intermission here as we're going to take a look at the Jerry Sporting Goods North American Hockey League out-of-town scoreboard. However, bit of a different tone to our out-of-town scoreboard this evening. We're going to look ahead to what's going on this weekend around the North American Hockey League. A full slate of games, all 24 teams in action with big playoff implications up and down the matchup list in the North American Hockey League this upcoming Friday and Saturday. We start in the North Division where Janesville has already locked things up, but everything else is still to play for, and it starts with a big series between the Michigan Warriors and the Johnstown Tomahawks. This is a two-game set in Johnstown, Pennsylvania. As it stands, the Tomahawks currently lead the Michigan Warriors by 5 points for the North Division's fourth playoff spot, and they have 2 games in hand on the Warriors. The magic number for Johnstown is 7. A sweep this weekend would all but bury Michigan. However, the Johnstown Tomahawks have had some trouble with Michigan this season, just 4-5-1 against the Warriors. Now, the Warriors are coming off a big 3-game sweep over the Keystone Ice Miners that more or less kept them in the playoff race last weekend. As I mentioned, 5 points back, but they have played 2 more games than the Johnstown Tomahawks ahead of them. So every game is a must-win for the Warriors, and they're going to need some help. A little bit farther up the North Division table, it's another pivotal series between the Sioux Eagles and the Keystone Ice Miners. This is a battle for second and third and the second home ice spot in the North Division. As it stands entering the weekend, 58 points for the Sioux Eagles on 52 games played. They are in second place. Keystone with 57 points in 52 games played. They are in third place. A huge 2-game set between these two teams this year. Keystone has been slumping a little bit of late. They lost 3 straight to Michigan last weekend, as you just heard. And despite the fact that they are 3-1-1 against the Eagles this year, 3-6-1 in their last 10 games are the Ice Miners, and they're coming up against a Sioux team that'll be riding some momentum after breaking Janesville's 17-game win streak with a shootout win last Saturday night in Janesville, no less, for the Eagles. A big race for them, or a big win for them in the race for home ice in the North Division. This is the final regular season meetings between these two teams. So at this rate, they may meet in the playoffs. Elsewhere around the North Division in an out-of-division matchup, it'll be the Minnesota Magicians traveling to the Janesville Jets. Minnesota recently swept the Aberdeen Wings. They have now won 5 straight and have clinched a playoff spot out of the Midwest Division. That means all 4 playoff spots in the Midwest Division have been locked up. They are 1-1 against Janesville this year, and this is a Jets squad that'll be hungry to get back to winning ways. They are not too accustomed to not coming away with 2 points, as they were upended in a shootout last Saturday against the Sioux Eagles, snapping, as you heard, a 17-game win streak for the Janesville Jets in that shootout loss on March the 7th. They still need just 6 more wins to set a new North American Hockey League record for wins in a single season. However, with just 6 games remaining, they're now going to have to win out to do so, as they have long had the North Division locked up, as well as home ice locked up throughout the playoffs. However, all of a sudden, there's going to be a bit more question marks asked over whether they can win the regular season league title. We'll keep an eye on that one moving forward. Cooley Region will be in Springfield this weekend, another big out-of-division matchup. Cooley Region has already locked up a playoff spot. Realistically, they can go no lower than third. They need just 3 more points to lock in third place. They can go no higher than third either. They cannot reach the Minnesota Wilderness or the Fairbanks Ice Dogs above them. More on those two sides in a bit. A good battle brewing there. But for this weekend for Cooley Region, they're bouncing back off a one-game outing against the Minnesota Wilderness, 5-1 loss last Saturday. They're going to be on the road this weekend for 2. They are 10-12-4 on the road. Now, on the other side of the ice, the Springfield Junior Blues, it's do or die time. They are currently 7 points back of the Johnstown Tomahawks for the final playoff spot in the North Division. They have played 2 more games than the Tomahawks as well. They split with Johnstown last weekend, which was realistically no help. They needed to gain ground as they went 2-3 on their 5-game road trip. The 4 of their last 6 are against the Janesville Jets, too. So the Junior Blues need to make some moves, and they need to make some moves this weekend. Continue on the Jerry Sporting Goods out-of-town scoreboard report. We're taking a look ahead at what's going on this weekend in the North American Hockey League with a light schedule tonight. We'll catch you up on the score between the Lone Star Brahmas and the Corpus Christi Ice Rays in just a second, but we dive right back into our preview, taking a look at a pivotal matchup at the bottom of the Central Division standings between the Aberdeen Wings hosting the Brookings Blizzard for 2 games. Just 3 points separating Aberdeen and Brookings in 4th and 5th place. Aberdeen currently on 48 points with 53 games played, holding the slim edge over the Brookings Blizzard, who have 45 points in 52 games played. Now, Brookings coming off a 3-2 win to snap a 3-game skid. This is their last meetings of the season with the Wings. If they can come up with some wins, it would be a huge boost to a Brookings squad that is trying to haul themselves back into the playoff race, and they've gotten some help because Aberdeen, after they got swept by the Minnesota Magicians, they have now lost 4 straight contests to get pulled back into a bit of a dogfight for the Central Division playoff seedings. They are 6-4 against the Blizzard this season are the Aberdeen Wings. A couple of games to watch there for sure. Some more out-of-division matchups this weekend. The Minnesota Wilderness traveling to Austin for 2 games. The Minnesota Wilderness in a dogfight with the Fairbanks Ice Dogs, no pun intended. Those 2 teams tied on points, 74 for both of those teams at the top of the Midwest Division standings. However, the Wilderness have 3 games in hand on the Fairbanks Ice Dogs. 6 of their last 9 games are on the road, though, and they are just 13-7-4 on the road compared to 21-4-2 are the Wilderness. So if they're going to win this Midwest Division and snatch it away from the Fairbanks Ice Dogs, they have their destiny in their control, but they'll have to do it on the road, much like the Wildcats will, as we digress a little bit there. Now, the aforementioned Fairbanks Ice Dogs, they're in Bismarck this weekend. After splitting with Minot last weekend, Fairbanks is now 8-2-1 over their last 11 games. They're tied with the Minnesota Wilderness on points, as you just heard. They've played 3 more games, though. They are 2-0 against this Bobcats squad this year. And this is a Bismarck team that is coming off a sweep of the Kenai River Brown Bears. They've now won 3 straight after a little 1-3-1 skid. Their magic number to clinch a playoff spot is just 4 points over the Aberdeen Wings. They are 12-12-1 at home. Interestingly, a worse record at home than they have on the road for the Bismarck Bobcats. We'll keep an eye on that one this weekend as well. Moving right along into the Central Division and the Midwest, another out-of-division matchup this weekend. Kenai River rounding out the slate. They have been eliminated from playoff contention, and they're just looking to get home at this point. Just 3 wins for the Brown Bears since November the 29th. That's a span of 30 games for Kenai River. They got eliminated last weekend after being swept by the Bismarck Bobcats. They're going up against the Minot squad that split with Fairbanks last weekend. They are 5 points behind Austin with 2 games in hand on the Bruins are the Minot Minotauros as they try to chase down top spot in the Central Division. No head-to-head meetings left, though, so if Minot is going to overhaul the Bruins, they'll have to win their 2 games in hand and hope for a little bit of help from one of the teams playing Austin at the end of the season. By the way, quick note on the Bruins, they are locked into home ice in the Central Division. They cannot go any lower than 2nd spot. Now back to the South Division as we continue our preview of the Jerry Sporting Goods out-of-town scoreboard. Ones to watch up and down the roster, or up and down the matchup sheet here this weekend for both of these teams. Lone Star at Rio Grande Valley. That's a big 2 game set for the Wildcats, both in terms of trying to chase down the Brahmas and keeping tabs on what the Killer Bees are doing heading into the final stretches of the season, as the Wildcats will have 3 games to finish up against the Rio Grande Valley Killer Bees next weekend. Lone Star swept Corpus Christi at home last weekend to claim first place in the South Division. They're 11-8-6 on the road, so certainly some hope for the Wildcats that Corpus Christi might help them out and steal a point or 2 off the Brahmas. This is a squad in Rio Grande Valley that did take 3 points against Lone Star the last time they met down at the State Farm Arena in Hidalgo. So certainly every opportunity is there for Lone Star to drop points, but they have just 1 regulation loss in their last 13. They are 8-1-4 in that span and are 6-0-2 against the Killer Bees this season. Now the other side of that coin is the Killer Bees, who got swept in Odessa last weekend. That was the first sweep of the weekend of the season, I should say, for the Jackalopes, as they took just 1 point in a shootout loss on Saturday the 7th. They're now 5 points ahead of Amarillo in the playoff race and are tied with the Wenatchee Wild, as those 3 teams, the Wild, Killer Bees, and Bulls battle it out for 5th and 6th seed in the South Division playoffs. The positive for the Killer Bees, they're 13-7-3 at home, and they finish with 7 straight in their own barn, so certainly a boost for them. In Odessa this weekend, the Roadrunners are going to be looking to bounce back from taking just 1 of 4 available points against the Bulls this past weekend. First time this season that Topeka has been held winless on a weekend, and it was just the first weekend of the season that they have, or rather this is now the first time all season long since the very beginning of this campaign that the Roadrunners have not been in first place at the end of a weekend. They currently sit in second, 1 point back of Lone Star, and pending tonight's result, just 2 points ahead of the Wildcats, and the Cats still have 2 games in hand on both the Brahmas and the Roadrunners. We'll keep an eye on that one. On the other side of the ice, Odessa, coming off their first weekend sweep of the year, their first 4-point weekend to be more precise, they can play spoiler with 5 of their last 7 at home at the Ector County Coliseum. Fingers crossed if you're a Wildcats fans that they can overturn a couple of points on the Roadrunners, but that would be an optimistic thought to think that they would be able to pull off a sweep again for 2 weeks in a row. And the other series around the North American Hockey League South Division this weekend, another big one to watch. It doesn't so much impact the Wildcats very much, aside from who they might wind up playing in a potential first-round matchup, but this is a big one between Amarillo and the Wenatchee Wild. As I mentioned, Wenatchee, Rio Grande Valley, and Amarillo all bunched up, just 5 points separating those 3 teams as they battle it out for the final 2 playoff spots in the South Division. Wenatchee has now lost 3 straight to get pulled back into that battle for 5th and 6th. However, after these 2 games against Amarillo, they close with 5 straight at home, which should be a boost to the Wild. However, we should mention 2 of those are against the Lone Star Brahmas next weekend before the Wild close with 3 straight against Topeka at the end of the season, the last weekend of the regular season. That's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday set. Now, Amarillo, pending the result here tonight, they might be 5 points back still. They might be just 3 points back of the playoff picture. We won't know. However, this is an Amarillo squad. After sweeping Topeka last weekend, they have given themselves a little bit of life in the playoff picture. They are 16-9-2 at home as they go against this Wild squad at the Amarillo Civic Center. They'll need to cut into that 5-point deficit above them, and 2 games against one of their biggest foes in that battle is a great way to do it. That'll be that for the Jerry Sporting Goods Out of Town scoreboard and our preview edition of what's to come this Friday and Saturday around the North American Hockey League. We'll step aside when we come back. We'll have the third period of action from the K. Yeager Coliseum as Wildcats hockey presented by Armored Roofing will continue just after this on FastHockey.com and the Wildcats Broadcast Network. Jaeger Coliseum for the third period of action between your Wildcats and the Amarillo Bulls. Will it be a decisive one? We'll find out in 20 minutes or so. 3-3 the score here. It was 2-2 at the end of one, 3-3 at the end of two. Two power play goals and an even strength tally for Amarillo. One power play goal and two even strength tallies for the Wildcats. 2 goals by Tommy Apap and a goal by Shane Kosmeski for the Wichita Falls scorers. Charlie Combs, Luke Novak, and Jesper Senelius for the Bulls. If the Wildcats can stay out of the penalty box, they'll have a very good chance to take this one here tonight. Devenick in the cage to our right as the Wildcats skate P to Q across your screen. No carryover power plays or penalties to speak of as Jacob Weatherly is in the cage to our left as the Bulls skate left to right and Q to P across your screen. It'll be Sherazin, Farmer, and Apap to start things off. Countering for Amarillo. Looks like it will be Holmes, Dugan, and Benedetto when we get set to get back to play here at the K. Yeager Coliseum. Ben Horner with you on FastHockey.com and the Wildcats Broadcast Network. As Wildcats Hockey presented by Armored Roofing enters the third period of play. Quick delay with the referee, Corey Denbach, skating over to the scorer's table just to make sure everything is good to go. Looks like we are set to go as, well, now both teams spilling off the bench a little bit here. There's some time left to go. I think they're going to give the ice a little bit more time. They're going to give a 2-minute window for the ice to reset, I guess. Either way, as we have a moment, let's get you some situationals. When tied after 2 periods of play, the Wildcats are 4-2-2. Amarillo is 4-2-1 when tied after 2 periods of play. So we'll see who is going to get win number 5 when trailing after 2 and who is going to get loss number 3. The Wildcats here is obviously stay out of the box. They have not been good on the PK really since, realistically, the Wildcats have not been very good on the penalty kill since December, or the end of December, I should say. People started to get them figured out around that Wenatchee series. Remember, this is a team that basically went the entirety of November without allowing a power play goal. They gave up 3 power play goals in November. You might imagine they've given up far more in the time since then. But if the Wildcats can stay at 5-on-5, who knows? This could be anyone's game, and certainly the Wildcats will like their chances. Face-off will be at center ice. Looks like we are good to go here as Combs, Benedetto, and Dugan will counter Sherazin, Apap, and Farmer. Restano and Yench, the blue liners for Amarillo. Cook and Knight, the defensemen for the Wildcats, as the centers are brought together and the puck is down. We're underway in the third period, brought to you by American Classified. Is off the draw. This is Sherazin. He turned it over. Here's Dugan down the middle. Scores! Oh, my word. Number 1, how did that go in? 10 seconds into the third, and Amarillo takes their third lead of the night. Sherazin, it was a drop pass for Farmer. Farmer over skated. Zebnik got beat inside his post. He was out at the top of the crease, but Dugan, unscreened, beat Zebnik from the high slot. Wildcats have erased 1-goal leads twice tonight. Let's see if they can do it here. 10 seconds into the third. Now here's Litviak. His shot blocked away there. Loose puck caroming, and it's sent down the ice by Amarillo. It'll come up well short of the icing line. Here's Baum back in his own zone. He has some trouble with it, and to be honest, the Wildcats have gotten a little bit lucky to this point in terms of some of their passing along the blue line, and this time they finally get burned. Stop. And Litviak duel for this one in the neutral zone. Baum and now Bolio as the Wildcats look to settle this one along as here is Townsend. Townsend gains the red line and floats it wide of the cage of Martinson. Stun the Wildcats and the crowd here at the KYC. Look out, going to be almost too many men on the ice. Now here's Mika walking in. Good poke check there by Zebnik. Played by a high stick by both teams. It's waved off and will play on as Falconer plays this one along, trying to get to Oakley. Now it's Lazarus. Lazarus gains the zone. Onside, here's Oakley, hooked back towards the middle. Nobody home as the pass was intercepted, intended for Chernyuk. Wildcats now trailing 4-3 as Lazarus and Oakley will dig this one loose. Hard around to the near side. It's played along the kick plate. Kosmeski has some trouble with it on his backhand. Couldn't find a teammate. Nice play to keep play moving. Oakley, Kosmeski at the goal line. Center's in front there. Nobody home as this is Combs trying to step away from the forechecking Oakley. Oakley gets away with a high stick here. This one in towards the cage of Zebnik from the red line. He'll steer it onto the blade of Konstantin Chernyuk. 5 remaining in the third. Headman pass, Razanaro far too far. That'll be icing. Wildcats trailing 4-3. Unassisted goal for A.J. Dugan. Dugan getting his 8th of the season. As he stepped onto a loose puck at the blue line, walked straight down the middle. Wildcats needed Zebnik to come up with a big save, and Dugan was able to put it past the glove hand as the Wildcats chop at this one as they'll finally work it into the neutral zone. Force it farther down the ice. The defenseman will change as Leonidas will curl back in his own zone to take this one away from Paul Subri. Skating up the ice, here comes Leonidas, charging through everybody. Leonidas straight down the middle, loading shot, caromed in front there, and we get a quick whistle as losing sight of the puck was Corey Denbach. Zebnik had it covered and spilled it either way with almost 2 minutes played in the third. The Wildcats will have to deal with a defensive zone draw coming to the right of Zebnik. They trail 4-3. And we'll say this for the Wildcats. They'll need to get more pucks into the offensive zone. Amarillo, over the majority of this game, has been the better team. As this is Farmer looking to charge this one forward. Farmer chips it to the wall, gets around his man. 2-on-1 for Farmer. He's upended there. No call coming. How do you not call a penalty, Corey Denbach? That is absurd. He was upended by the man that stumbled as he turnstiled him. 17:53. Leonidas sticks him. How do you not call a penalty? Corey Denbach, that's one of the worst calls we've seen all year long. Horrendous, horrendous, horrendous. Leonidas goes down. Farmer has a clean 2-on-1. He's tripped up as he tries to play the puck towards the middle. Denbach doesn't give the call. The pass was intercepted, went up and out of play, and now the faceoff is in the neutral zone. And as over-efficient as Denbach was at the early part of this game, that is embarrassing. Knight walks this one into the offensive zone, hooked towards the middle. Here is another chance in front for APAP, and he couldn't get it there. To the far side it runs. Knight wasn't able to reach this puck, now in the neutral zone. He'll have to chase it down. The Wildcats feeling aggrieved after Denbach blew an obvious tripping call that should have put them on the power play. Horrendous. Here is Matt Cook. Certainly Denbach, oh look how Cook did give that one away as the Wildcats are sloppy on their breakout. Knight will pick this one up. He'll move it along and get it back. Here's Knight, worked it along for Litviak, cuts towards the middle. Knight deflected, and it went just wide there as he retreats back to the blue line. This one cleared into the neutral zone. Townsend loses it in the skates of the linesman Spoor, fishes it free as Staub picks this one up and looks to start forward. Cross-ice pass into the path of Bolio. Bolio in onside, hook towards the middle. Here's Litviak skittering along, and Weatherly makes a save. 16:56 remaining in the third. The Wildcats are trailing 4-3, but they should have had a power play opportunity after Corey Denbach just let one of the most egregious and obvious trips of the year go. Wildcats will have to bounce back from that and shake that one off. Face off to the left of Weatherly here with 16:56 remaining in the third. Touch back to the blue line. Here is Townsend stepping inside, holding on it. His shot goes high and gets the glass. Bomb. Nice keep here at the left point. He'll jab it down low as Lazarus hooked it along and gave it for Falconer. Falconer lost it between his skates. Couldn't find a teammate, but Lazarus serves up to the blue line and Townsend again. Townsend now Bomb at the left point. Bomb towards the net. Deflected. Oh, what a blocker save there by Weatherly as he was handcuffed there. Now look out. Townsend lost it at the blue line. Here's Charlie Combs. Clean breakaway to make it 5-3. Combs scores. 5-3. Amarillo takes the lead. Townsend couldn't step inside his man at the blue line, and the Wildcats trail by 2. They were inches away from tying it up a moment before. Townsend, who has done so much for the Wildcats on the offensive side this year, that one time he couldn't get the puck past Combs. Combs raced away, and it's 5-3. And now the Wildcats, who a moment ago, or who headed into the evening with their destiny in their hands for the South Division, are staring a huge loss in the face in their final home game of the year. 5-3 is the score in favor of the Bulls. Here is Kosmeski. Tries to play to Bolio. Now it's Kosmeski. Looks to play towards the middle. Here's Litviak. And Staub scores! A response right back. 16:01 remaining in the third. Colin Staub gets his 21st of the year. Barely tucked it inside the post after Weatherly had kicked it off. And it's a one-goal game once more. The replay here. It was hooked towards the front of the net. Litviak couldn't get the shot away. The loose puck was Staub. His initial shot was saved, and he just snuck it over the line, and the goal was given. As we'll be back to play here. Played in deep by the Bulls, as Zevnik now needs to come up with a big save whenever he's forced into one. Headman pass. This is Farmer looking to get around Sennelius and does. Here is Farmer with the step. His shot, and he sent it up and into the protective netting with Sherazin in the middle. They say it was deflected, and we'll get the whistle. 15:44 remaining in the third, and look for Farmer to take that avenue down the right wing wall. They call it the Farmer Highway. Might have centered there, but to be fair, Hartman was covering Sherazin very well, so it would have needed to be an inch perfect pass. Face-off will be to the left of Weatherly. Apap will take the draw. He's on a hat trick. Warned off encroachment are Farmer and Hartman on the far side. Apap can't win this draw. Hartman hard around the wall, trying to keep in his bomb. Sent towards the corner. Now it's Farmer towards the net, and Apap got to stick to it, but shanked it wide. This is cleared, not out. Now Farmer ties his man up along the far side wall, kicks it loose. Sherazin digs it free, and it's in possession for the Wildcats once more. Here is Baum into the offensive zone, and now it goes up towards the bench wall. Amarillo almost played it out into their own bench, but now Combs will walk forward. He'll give to Dugan. Dugan has his pass intercepted here, as skating onto this one is Townsend. He'll get to the red line, play it wide of the cage as we tick down towards the last 15 minutes of this contest. The Wildcats had a 1-0 lead. Since then, they've been playing catch-up. Brought forward here by Leonidas. Hook pass now towards the middle. His shot blocked in front, and picking up the loose disc, here's Austin Albrecht. Albrecht tries to go cross ice, intercepted. He'll get the puck back now, loses out to Christensen. Christensen has it taken away from him by Subri. To the far side it runs. Cherniak can't meet that one along there. Intercepted. Slap shot save there from the high slide off the stick of Riley Christensen. Zevnik comes up with a big save there as this is played up the ice. Damien, I thought he got to stick to it, but they'll blow this dead for icing here as Albrecht couldn't get back to beat the whistle. 14:34 remaining in the third. The Wildcats are trailing 5-4. Goals from Dugan and Charlie Combs unassisted in the third in the first 3.5 minutes, but the Wildcats responded 25 seconds after Combs tallied to make it 5-3. It is 5-4. They continue to trail, but they have life anew. Off, knocked towards the corner. Here's Austin as an arrow. Oh my goodness. He tried to flip it behind the net. Didn't get it cleanly as it flipped on him, and he put it into the catching glove of Zevnik. Well, at the very least, the Wildcats are able to get a change on here. The faceoff will be to the right of the aforementioned David Zevnik. Will take the draw. Top line out for the Wildcats as they push for an equalizer. Quick shot towards the net. Zevnik got a left pad to it and just trickled it wide of the left-hand post. Bolio ramped forward. Stop. Left it behind. Here's Bolio skating onto it. Nice play there. Gets around one man. Can he get down the wall and hold possession? No, he cannot, as this is Matt Cook at the red line. Now it's Cam Knight along for Litviak. Litviak up for Bolio. Into the offensive zone comes Bolio. Bolio hit down hard from behind, right in front of Denbach. No call up coming here as Litviak tries to dig it loose. Here, Stop. Backhander in front. Couldn't get it away. Loose puck there, and Bolio gloved it down. Back up to the wall, and Matt Cook. Here's Cook quickly along for Cam Knight. He'll skate to the right wing wall and hold. It's down behind the net where Staub will look to settle in the corner. Now it's Bolio crushed hard. Wildcats maintain possession. Cook now Staub in front there, and it's swept away from danger. Knight back down the wall. First to it, directed towards the cage there by Litviak, as trying to step onto this one was Matt Cook. Nice play there by Cook to hold his own as he knocked towards the corner. Bolio runs from the left wing corner to the right wing side for Staub, who protects. Staub softly behind the net for Litviak. In front wants Bolio, and he wasn't able to pull the trigger. Here is Bolio, banked it up to the blue line. Knight towards the net, St. juggled and held by Weatherly, and we'll get the whistle. 13-18 remaining in the third. Staub had walked in front, but he couldn't get his backhand away as he reached to pull it into his shooting position. Face-off will be to the left of Weatherly. The Wildcats trailing 5-4, knocking on the door after Colin Staub has cut into the Amarillo Bulls lead. Off the face-off, this is Farmer coming along into the corner. He'll skate on the right wing side. Apap trying to dig it loose as well in a two-a-side battle. Apap all down to the ice. Will move play along as Chernyuk has it on his stick. Into the corner he skates. Chernyuk, look out here now with a chance to race away. Getting back is Kuzmeski. Here is Dugan at the left face-off circle. Walks inside. Loose puck there. Zebnik makes the save. Great defensive work by Kuzmeski to keep Dugan from stepping around him in front, as crashing the crease was DiBenedetto. 12:56 remaining in the third. The Wildcats continue to trail 5-4, but Kuzmeski with a good defensive play there to keep Dugan from getting in all alone on Zebnik. Face off to Zebnik's right. Ben Horner with you on FastHockey.com and the Wildcats Broadcast Network. Off, it's picked up here by Sherzin, ramped forward into the body of Farmer, who from the red line punches it farther along. Weatherly will spin it away here, almost turned it over to, but Sinelius got there ahead of Farmer as Hartman plays it onto the stick of Combs. Intercepted here is Sherzin, knife down out of midair, touched up by Farmer. I thought DiBenedetto or Hartman might have touched it first. Instead, it'll be a high sticking infraction. No penalty out of it. The puck will be moved down to the Wildcats defensive zone as they'll have to deal with a defensive zone draw. Off to the right of Zebnik. Wildcats trying to close out the home slate with a win and maintain control of their own destiny. If they win out, they win the South Division, but you have to take care of night one here, and right now they haven't done so. They are behind 5-4 as trying to dig it loose in the corner. In his own zone was Oakley. Oakley looking to motor forward. Has Albrecht to his left and uses him. Albrecht gets down the wall in front. Here's Oakley with a step. Backhander! Saved there by Martinson as Oakley cut towards the top of the crease. Rather, Weatherly is having a great game in net for Amarillo against these Wildcats once more. Now it's Colin Staub. In his own zone, he's tied, or in the offensive zone, he's tied up by Leonidas. Leonidas kicked it free, but it's held here by Baum towards the net. Kick save there in the high slot by Harrison. Staub protects, crunched into the wall there, needs some help as trying to hold the zone was Austin Albrecht, but he lost possession. Now it's Pledania for Amarillo in the neutral zone. He'll send it around the boards in deep. Zebnik will move it along here. 11:45 remaining in the third as the Cats are hunting for a fifth goal to tie this one up. Farmer moved it up the ice wanting Litviak. Litviak jabbed it along there as well and will go in after it here as here is Bolio settling, giving to Townsend at the point. Slap shot saved, and it is steered away to this near side wall. Stop. Couldn't find a teammate with it as Miko dug the puck loose. Ristano now gives to Novak. Novak crunched down hard there on a clean cross ice hit. His bucket goes flying, but we play on as this is Knight taking it away from Mika in the offensive zone, and he'll ice it, but Knight was upended, and we've seen him call for less. Denbach, what are you doing? So inconsistent in this game. So inconsistent in this game, and that's what frustrates players the most. If you're going to call it tight, call it tight. If you're going to call it loose, call it loose. But a penalty in the first period should be a penalty in the third. Chernyuk got one of the weakest tripping calls we've seen this season. Then Knight, upended in his own zone, doesn't get the call. 11:11 remaining in the third. 5-4, Amarillo holding the lead. The Wildcats trying to pour things on. But Jacob Weatherly has been very solid. He's 2-4-0 against the Wildcats with a 5.38 goals against average and an .872 save percentage this year. But when you factor out that 9-1 loss that he was on the receiving end of all 9 goals, those numbers take a drastic switch. Face-off will be to the right of Zebnik. Of course, as I speak about Corey Denbach, the referee, it's worth noting that certainly the referee has had no bearing on the Wildcats being down 5-4. That is of their own doing. Washed out of the draw here will be DiBenedetto. Not happy about it, but Dugan will step in for him. as APAP wins this draw and won it back to Bolio. Bolio chips out as the Wildcats will try to finish up their change, as they will do just that. Back into the zone, though, here comes Amarillo. Zevnik gloves it down and gives it along for Cam Knight, as Knight will set up shop behind his own zone and look to start the breakout. Here is Knight. Sherazin, Farmer, and APAP out there. Sherazin through the middle of the ice. Sherazin skates it into the zone at the right wing side. Shot blocked in front. APAP will chase the loose puck towards the corner. APAP tied up along the wall there. Sherazin came along but couldn't work it to the blue line. APAP tied up once more as it came to him, but Jesper Senelius picks things up for Amarillo. Upended. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. He stepped on the puck, and that's going to be a penalty against Nick Farmer. Denbach is having an absolute laugh. It's a hook. It's a hook. Well, at least he's saving himself the blushes, because he's going to send Senelius for a dive. Here's what you should have done, Denbach. Nothing. This is getting laughable. He doesn't know what's a penalty and what's not. He's making it up as he goes. Come on. Anyway, we'll skate 5-on-5 as those two will cancel out. We'll have a face-off in the neutral zone. Senelius stepped on the puck. That apparently was a hooking call from Corey Denbach. Strangest hooking call I've ever seen. Here is Damien. Looks to play this one down the ice. Comes up short of icing as Cook will look to move this along. Tied up here was Cook, but he worked it along for Albrecht on this near side. Albrecht skates down the bench wall, gets past one man, loses the puck into the offensive zone, though, for Azanaro. Azanaro, his shot saved there by Weatherly, and we'll get the whistle. 10-13 remaining in the third. And here's the last thing we'll say on Denbach for the time being. As I mentioned, his calls have not had a bearing on the outcome of the game thus far, but with this kind of performance, with the orange stripes on his sleeves, eventually down the road, he's going to cost somebody big time. And you just hope that it won't be in the playoffs, because you hate to have two teams that have worked so hard have their hard work undone by an incompetent referee. Daniel will play this one up the wall. Knight was able to hold in, but it caromed out of play, and we'll get a whistle. 10:08 remaining in the third. The Wildcats trail 5-4. They gave up a goal to A.J. Dugan 10 seconds into the third after a turnover at their blue line. Charlie Combs then scored on a unassisted breakaway after he picked Townsend's pocket at the blue line. Colin Staub scored 25 seconds later. The Wildcats are on the march trying to find a fifth to tie this one up. None has been forthcoming yet, as into the zone comes Charlie Combs. His shot off the stick of Cook and out of play. 9:58 remaining in the third, and that'll take us to our media timeout. And as we head to the media timeout, we'll take a look at the other game going on around the North American Hockey League. They're in the third period in Corpus Christi, and Corpus Christi had been leading 2-0. However, a natural hat trick for A.J. Vanderbeck in the second period had Lone Star up 3-2. A quick response by Corpus Christi in the form of Wes Michaud on the power play has made it 3-3. They're halfway through the second period there. Noteworthy is that John Mechanic has been ejected from the game. He took an unsportsmanlike conduct minor and a game ejection for abuse of officials. And at 8:05 of the second period. We're in a media timeout here at the K. Yeager Coliseum. Ben Horner with you on FastHockey.com and the Wildcats Broadcast Network. Good crowd here this evening. 2,268 the announced attendance. Seeing a good one. But right now, the Wildcats are on the wrong end of the 5-4 scoreline. Wildcats have had their chances. Oakley cut in front. Weatherly has made save after save, and they've been high-quality saves as well. One back to the blue line, Jensch towards the net, trickled around there. Oakley intercepts and looks to motor forward. Head fakes through one. Then to Chernyuk, who had stopped moving his feet. Loose puck in the offensive zone. Chernyuk now to Oakley. Turnaround shot wide of the cage there. As picking up the rebound, here is Colin Staub. Staub down low for Oakley. Oakley behind the net with it. Looks to spin away from a man. Lost an edge. Surprised that wasn't a tripping call on the Amarillo man, the way Denbach's been calling it tonight, as this is Bolio in the high slot. Now it's Bolio rounding his shot into the glove of Weatherly, and he'll hold on. 9:29 remaining in the third. The Wildcats trailing 5-4. As this is their final home game of the regular season. They are trying to send the fans home happy. all 2,268 of them here on Fan Appreciation Night at the KYC. And what you notice there, did not see Alex Falconer playing in center with Oakley and Lazarus. Indeed, what that was Bolio, Staub, and Oakley. So Oakley getting some first-line shifts. As this is one back, here's Lazarus. Townsend, one-timer off a leg. That went wide. APAP the first to it on the near side. Bomb quickly along. Townsend stumbles, hooked it away from a man there. That kept it from being a breakaway the other way once more. Farmer can't go below the goal line with it as he was walled off. Lazarus first to it there. Wants Tommy APAP to go behind the net and dig it loose. He did, but Mika the first to it here. Trying to hold this one in were the Wildcats, but Damien takes this one away as he'll get it right back from his teammate and look to move it up the ice. Headman pass, glove down here by Baum, just in front of the neutral zone. He hooked it along for Lazarus. Lazarus hoping for someone to skate onto it. That was Farmer, intercepted there as Townsend has some trouble with it in the neutral zone, but he'll fish it along to a teammate, and Baum works it up the ice for Farmer. Farmer has some problems in the neutral zone in front of his own bench area as Townsend chases this one back with 8:40 remaining in the second period. Looking to move through the middle of the ice. He'll chip this one in deep as he gained the red line. Albrecht behind the cage with it there, looking to work it loose. It's loose at the doorstep. Subri couldn't get a stick to this one as Harrison is under pressure from it. Albrecht, his shot from a bad angle there, had better options, didn't use any of them, as this is Guarania digging it loose in his own slot. Banks it off the glass. Having some trouble with it was Cam Knight. Penalty upcoming here. Oh my gosh. He's going to call a slashing call against Matt Cook. It was a sweep check. The man had one hand on his stick. Where is he going with these calls? They're tight, they're loose, they're tight, they're loose. Make up your mind and stick with one. Horrendous, 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 horrendous. Well, Sherazin will be out of the box along with Senalius, but the Wildcats trailing 5-4, 8:09 remaining in the third. Folks, I've made a concerted effort this year to not talk about the referees that much, but when the referee wants to make himself this much of the story, it's hard not to. That's another horrendous soft call, and Denbach is all over the place tonight. He can't decide to call it tight or call it loose. Off the face-off, the Wildcats work it around the zone and send it all the way down. The penalty to Austin Azanaro. As the Wildcats are on the Gilmore's Collision Center penalty kill for the fifth time this evening. They are 2 for 4 on the PK thus far. That right now the difference in the game. Here is Senalius walking into the zone. Senalius with it all the way around. He'll put on the brakes in the corner. Goes down. Surprise Knight didn't get called for a tripping call. Now in front. Here is Novak at the right wing circle. Novak to the blue line and Combs. Combs. Now Novak once more. Novak. Now Combs. Middle of the blue line. Now here is Gilling. Now Combs wanting a one-timer blocked there by Farmer. Towards the net once more. Punched away there by Zevnik on the shoulder. Goes up and out of play. 7:20 remaining in the third. Wildcats shorthanded for the next minute 12 seconds. They trail 5-4. This has been a poorly officiated game from start to finish. As I mentioned, though, that's not the reason the Wildcats trail 5-4, as this is Austin Bolio leading it softly down the ice shorthanded. The Wildcats have had their chances. Here is Gilling. Moving it away. Here is Staub trying to hold his own shorthanded. He does. Here's Staub. Pump fakes. Gives to Bolio towards the corner. That'll wind up some more time as Bolio loses out. But Bolio tries to get it right back. Almost did. And would have had a good chance. But instead, Amarillo will maintain possession. Here is Gilling inside the last 7 minutes of this third period. The Cats trail 5-4. Amarillo looking to salt this one away on the power play. Novak walks down the wall past Townsend. Townsend throws him down to the ice there as we'll get a whistle here. It'll be a hand pass against Amarillo. That'll draw the whistle and send the faceoff into the neutral zone with 6:44 remaining in the third and 36 seconds remaining on the penalty to Austin Azanaro. Off in front of the Wildcats penalty boxes. If you're just joining us, the Wildcats took an early 1-0 lead, but since then they've been playing catch-up. They trailed 2-1, then 3-2, and then 5-3. As now it's 5-4. They're shorthanded as Kosmeski will play this one down the ice. Karam towards someone in front. Karam towards the middle of the line after an awkward bounce off a glass support. Amarillo picks this one up in the final 17 seconds of this power play. Arrow will be out of the box in 15. This one well high and wide of the cage. Townsend the first to it there. Clears not out. Christensen will maintain possession and feed to the blue line. Here's Hartman. Christensen once more tries to go down low, intercepted here as Townsend will start the rush. Out of the box in a second, here's Azanaro. Townsend in onside, toe drag. Townsend dumped down the ice from behind, and Denbach will play on. We're back to 5-on-5 play though, as here is Azanaro in the neutral zone in the last 6 of the third. Wildcats come up with a big kill on the Gilmore's collision center penalty kill. Here's Sheridan towards the middle of the net, up to the slot. Farmer holds, slap shot, save, rebound, and APAP couldn't put it home. Here is Farmer holding in on a bouncing puck. Swats down low by Cook. First to it behind the net. It's Hartman rolling it along, wanting Christensen. It's cleared to the neutral zone off the half wall. Cook back up the ice. He wants Knight. Knight turns quickly onto it, plays this one in deep. The Wildcats look to set up shop. First to it here is Amarillo as it's out into the neutral zone once more. Here is Matt Cook up the ice. Sheridan lost possession on it, then gets bumped down hard from behind. Look out, trying to race forward. Here's Barriga. Getting in the way was Azanaro as Matt Cook will chase back to his own zone. Here is Cook. 5:10 remaining in the third. Wildcats trailing 5-4. Cook will play this one down the high glass. The Wildcats will start up a change here. Sinelius first to it on the far side as Sheridan wins it loose towards the slot, and Lazarus overskates a loose puck. Subri stands his man up, but Amarillo starts up the ice. Here is Barriga trying to get around Chernyuk. Chernyuk has his stick tied up, kicked it away from his man there, and worked it along for Lazarus. Now it's Baum, back for Lazarus. Lazarus gains the zone, loses out on a loose puck. Chernyuk, here is Subri, loading shot, and he sent it wide from the high slot. Here is Lazarus, 4:35 remaining in this period. The Wildcats still trail 5-4. They're getting their chances, but they can't find one. Lazarus, backhand effort steered wide there by Weatherly. Chernyuk down into the corner once more. This is Albrecht trying to kick it free. Couldn't find a teammate there as Baum will hold in at the far side. Back down low once more. Lazarus behind the net. Hooked in front there, and that splits everybody and trickles to the neutral zone. Here is Baum settling just in front of his own blue line. He'll skate forward and gain the zone. Here's Albrecht, high slot, waiting for reinforcements. Finds Staub from the bench at the right circle. Here's Staub, putting on breaks. Litviak's shot goes up high and gets the glass. 4 minutes remaining in this third. Still the Cats trail by 1. Knocking on the door, here's Litviak. Turned over, trying to find Staub, and he couldn't get it there to the front of the net. Staub hit hard from behind, no call up coming as he keeps his feet, as Litviak will try to win it back from Novak, and does, at least momentarily. It's tied up behind Litviak. Staub will pull this one free. Staub backed up to the wall, and Townsend. Now Kosmeski at the left side. Shot deflected there. Litviak cross-check from behind. Horrendous again. Denbach, you're a joke. Cleared down the ice by Amarillo. It's right in front of him. Litviak cross-checked from behind. 3:23 remaining in the third. Cats knocking on the door, but Martinson, rather Weatherly, turning them away. Here is Kosmeski gaining the zone. Gets around Hartman and goes to the corner after it. First to it, here is Bolio jabbing it along. Kosmeski wants it there as well. In the near side corner, here's Kosmeski walking towards the front of the net. Around in front, Lazarus jamming at it. Puck still loose. It won't go. It was Oakley at the doorstep. Oakley chases to the far side wall. Here's Oakley. Quickly back to the point in Townsend. Now Kosmeski handcuffed him a little bit. Here's a quick pass. Bolio towards the net, and it's saved by Weatherly, and we'll get a whistle. 2:52 remaining in the third. Wildcats trailing 5-4. But that was a clear cross-checking call in front of the net, and everyone agrees. Even the Amarillo broadcaster, Dennis Puska, agreeing that Denbach is having a laugher. This third period has been a joke from the official, and I hope that the referee evaluator is here in the building tonight, because this has been a masterclass of how not to control a hockey game from Corey Denbach. And we'll say this. It's not like he missed the call. He was staring right at it and just decided that a clean-as-day cross-check was not. So, how he goes in through his mind and says that's not a cross-check, and he gave a hooking call when Farmer never got his stick above the kneecap, is beyond me. But hey, I'm up here, not down on the ice, so I guess I don't have a say in things. Well, I don't guess. I know I don't have a say in things. Either way, there is 2:52 remaining in this third period. The Wildcats trail 5-4. They are throwing everything at Weatherly. We'll see when they pull David Zebnik. The faceoff will be to Weatherly's left, who has made some brilliant saves here this evening. Oakley most recently had a good look at the doorstep. Faceoff will be to the left of Weatherly. For now, in the last 2:52 of the third. Zebnik will stay in his cage, but we'll keep an eye on when he comes to the bench. Face off to the left of Weatherly. Face off towards the corner by Amarillo. Hustling around to this near side and trying to free it loose was DiBenedetto in the neutral zone. Here is Litviak. He'll protect. Hook it back for a teammate. He wanted Bolio. The pass didn't have enough on it. Here is Charlie Combs in his own zone. Quickly along for Damian now. Damian to the red line, sends this one in deep. Zebnik couldn't put the brakes on it here as Cook moved it for Bolio. Bolio protects and gets it to the neutral zone, but it's on the stick of Senelius. Here is Damian. He has some trouble from Litviak, and Litviak gets called for a penalty here. This one you call by Denbach. Oh, unbelievable. Lots of coming together here. 2:21 remaining in the third. Litviak takes a penalty. It'll be a boarding or a head contact. Nikita, not a smart play there from the Russian, as it was Combs who got hit. Contact to the head, I think, is going to be the call. That's a clear-cut penalty by Nikita Litviak, but I'm surprised Denbach made the call because he'd swallowed his whistle for the last 4 minutes, at least in terms of getting the Wildcats a power play. Certainly not indicating that Denbach is biased in any way, sense, or form. However, to put it politely, he's had some very, very questionable calls in this third, and even more questionable no calls. So Combs is going to get some time as well. Will it be 4-on-4 or 5-on-5? Looks like it will stay 5-on-5. So Denbach, not for the first time tonight, he's evened things up after a contentious call. Wildcats have 2:21 to find a tying goal. At the very least, they won't be shorthanded as they try to do it. But this on the stick of Ben Jensch. Here is Jensch. He'll skate this one wide of the cage and send this one in deep. Novak, the first to it on the far side. Knifed out of midair here by Colin Staub. Staub with a good play there to throw on the brakes and start up the ice. Here is Staub, charging through the neutral zone. Plays it towards some space, towards the cage of Weatherly, who will cover up, as crashing the crease was Lazarus. And we'll get a whistle with 2:02 remaining in the third. Wildcats trail 5-4. They are trying to get a goal to tie this one up and maybe send it to overtime. Elsewhere in the third period in Corpus Christi, there's 13 seconds left, still 3-3. Looks like they're going to overtime. So Lone Star looks like they'll pick up a point on the Wildcats here tonight unless something changes. Here is Apap, tied up, held in here nicely by Townsend towards the front of the net. Sherazin knocked it away and lost possession. Here is Luke Novak in the final 2 minutes of this contest. Shot was blocked there by Townsend. Townsend steps up, tries to find Sherazin. His pass was intercepted, as the Wildcats will have to start from scratch. 100 seconds remaining in this third. Here is Townsend. Hits Apap on the right wing side. Apap gets to the red line and plays in deep. Farmer and Sherazin, the other forwards out there. Sherazin first to it behind the net, crushed from behind, and a penalty upcoming. And it's going to be against Amarillo. It'll be an interference call. The Wildcats will head to the power play. 1:31 remaining in this third period. They are 1 for 2 on the man advantage tonight. Skating over to the box slowly is Ben Jensch. Now with 91 seconds remaining, we'll see if the Wildcats go with 6 attackers and pull Zebnik. The downside is Amarillo can clear indiscriminately and try and pick the empty net. As of now, Zebnik is in the cage to our right. Cook, Knight, Staub, Bolio, and Townsend out there for the Wildcats. We assume a third forward will get out there when Zebnik comes to the bench for an extra attacker. Trying to work it free. Here's Colin Staub in the corner. Staub on his backhand. Couldn't go up the wall. Here's Staub with it still once more, but now it's cleared, and all the way down the ice it goes. And it's a good thing they didn't pull Zebnik because that was ticketed for the back of the net. Knight will pick this one up. 70 seconds remaining. The Wildcats on the power play, needing a tying goal. It's 5-4 Amarillo. Bolio walks this one into the zone. Over the line, Bolio, drop pass, here comes Zebnik to the bench. It's Townsend, now Knight. Farmer getting involved, fresh from the bench, extra attacker on. Towards the net, deflecting around there, and it goes away to the near side wall. Bolio tries to go down towards the corner. Here is Cook. Cook on the far side, looks for somewhere to go with it. Cook, Knight, middle of the blue line, settles it well, now steps to the right. Knight, here's Bolio, one-timer, and he floats it up high, and it got the glass. Good keep there by Knight. Now it's Cook. Townsend, high slot, dusting it off, shot back door, puck loose, Cook fanned on it with the entire net to shoot at. 33 seconds remaining. Cook in front. Folio centers. Night shot blocked there. Empty net in front. Great keep there by Townsend. 23 seconds remaining. Cook at the goal line. In front there. Loose puck cleared. Down the ice it goes. 20 seconds remaining. It'll come up short of the net. Wildcats have to turn back up ice. Cook had the chance, but he fanned on it from the circle. Headman pass into the offensive zone. The Wildcats can't get it there. This is onto the stick of Knight. 6 seconds remaining. Here is Knight. Now it's Staub. Took it away from Bolio. 2 seconds and 1, and the Wildcats lose. Penalty kill, not good enough. The effort at the start of the third, not good enough. The effort at the start of the second, not good enough. And they had their chances. They had chance after chance in the third. And Weatherly comes up large on them all, with Cook whiffing on the biggest one. He had it at the circle. He had the entire net to shoot at, and he started celebrating before he pulled the trigger, left the puck behind. And the Wildcats, well, they don't control their own destiny anymore. 5-4 the final score here tonight. We'll step aside. When we come back, we'll wrap this one up here from the K. Yeager Coliseum on FastHockey.com and the Wildcats Broadcast Network. Yeager Coliseum putting the wrap on an effort that sends the Wildcats home disappointed. 5-4 the final in favor of the Amarillo Bulls. Amarillo picks up their first win of the season in this building. And if the Wildcats have a couple of things to point to, they can point to the penalty kill not getting it done, and they can point to Jacob Weatherly with some remarkable saves in the closing minutes and some chances that fell by the wayside. It's a good win for Amarillo to keep them in the playoff hunt, but for the Wildcats, it's what if. What if and what if and what if some more. They'll have to shake that one off, though, as they'll be back in action against Corpus Christi right onto the bus tomorrow morning. Let's get you the scoring summary here as we break this one down. Shane Kosmeski got things going at 5:21 of the first unassisted before Amarillo scored 2 in quick succession in the late stages of the frame. Charlie Combs on the power play, no chance for Zevnik, then Luke Novak as he tucked home a loose puck after Ben Jensen's shot was blocked in front by Cam Knight, but the loose puck fell to Novak to turn home after Zevnik was down on his belly after the initial. Wildcats tied it up, though, with 12 seconds remaining in the first. Tommy Apap picked up goal number 9 on the year as he tapped one home in front after a broken play behind the Amarillo net. In the second, Jesper Senelius picked up a power play goal, the second of the game for the Bulls, before Tommy Apap scored on a power play for the Wildcats as well at 13:36 of the second. Then the Wildcats got off to a nightmarish start in the third. It was a terrible giveaway at their own blue line. It was Sherazin who tried to square it for Farmer. Farmer overskated as to the pass, didn't have enough zip on it. Allowed Dugan to pick up the loose puck. He skated in. Zevnik charged out to the top of his crease, but he wasn't able to cut down the angle enough as he scored unassisted to make it 4-3. Charlie Combs made it 5-3 with an unassisted breakaway as he poked it past Townsend at the blue line and made it 5-3. The Wildcats responded 25 seconds later at 3:59 of the third when Colin Staub picked up his 21st of the season. 5-4. Then they had chance after chance after chance. Evan Oakley cutting in front. Matt Cook from the bottom of the circle. Bolio in the high slot. Staub in the slot. Litviak with a chance. Lazarus with a chance. Oakley with another chance at the back door. But we must give credit to Jacob Weatherly. I said coming into the game that he had stolen some from the Wildcats this season, and he just stole a third against Wichita Falls. One more game to go between these two teams on March the 24th. That's a Tuesday in a couple weeks' time. Wager, guess who's going to be the goaltender for Amarillo? If it's not Jacob Weatherly, I'll jump from the balcony at the Amarillo Civic Center. Shots on goal, final tally for the game, 31 for the Wildcats. They outshot Amarillo 13-5 in the third. Weatherly, as I mentioned, stood on his head. Getting the loss tonight, David Zevnik makes 19 saves on 24 shots. Weatherly gets the win as he makes 27 saves on 31 shots. With the loss, the Wildcats are now 36-14. Now 7-17-2 away from the Amarillo Civic Center. The Wildcats are going to rue this one. Mark my words. In the division, Amarillo now 22-25-3. We'll take a quick look on the out-of-town scoreboard, see if Lone Star was able to pick up the win. No, Corpus Christi comes up with a big overtime win. Anthony Cortez gets the winner. So at the very least, the Wildcats, while they don't technically control their own destiny anymore, at least completely, are still within striking distance of the Brahmas as they have 2 games in hand and are now 4 points back of Lone Star. Reminder, our next broadcast will be Friday night in Corpus Christi, 6:50 the pregame, 7:05 start time from the American Bank Center. I'll have the pregame at 6:50 on FastHockey.com and the Wildcats Broadcast Network. Until then, I'm Ben Horner. For all of us here at the Wichita Falls Wildcats, thanks for joining us on this edition of Wildcats Hockey presented by Armored Roofing. We'll catch you next time. Until then, have a good night and take care.